A lot of people angry about my Batman take, but I got a lot of people also on my side.
Well, they can be wrong too.
No, they can't. You know who and I do respect your opinion, but I also respect Mason's opinion. I said in there about Batman because the whole thing is, again, we got to this Batman thing. Because Chris is like, it's the worst take. It's not the worst take. And it's not that, I really don't like Batman. It's just, I never did. I thought it was silly. It's just a guy with gadgets. That's what he is. He's a guy with gadgets and kung fu.
And you're just a hater.
Yeah, on that one I am. And then some of people are like, this is why nobody likes you. And I think some of them are serious.
That's not true. There's dozens of other reasons nobody likes him.
Who? Me?
You.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. But welcome to the world I live in. Every day. Every day. And I'm okay with that. Because at the same time, there's a lot of people like, you kind of grew on me. Kind of like The Thing. Was that The Thing? That's the Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a fungus.
That's right. A little bit of a fungus. Just a smidge of a fungus. 8647. Chad, I think you're a good guy, but not a good fit for the radio station. Why is that? Just curious. Because I'm different, because I don't like Batman, and some of you chimed in with the Batman thing. Can Batman beat Inspector Gadget? That'd be a fight. Yeah, see, TB's with me. They ain't got no superpowers. You're a rich dude with toys. You're a step above the guy with the jet ski and the big truck. That's it. So that's it. That's where you are. Just a smidge above that. So I'm sorry if my take hurt you guys. Although some of you did say some stuff about, well, you know what? Who was the weird guy that lived in a cave with a guy in tights? Exactly. There you guys go.
They didn't live in a cave. It was just their office.
They didn't drive to the office. It was in the place they were at.
Right. They went down the bat pole into the cave.
Well, then you live.
I can't talk to somebody this uninformed anymore.
It's a basement. It's in their house. And I've been in the real bat car. Have you?
Yes.
No, you haven't. So, no, you haven't. I bet Batman has a tuna boat. No, Batman doesn't seem like a guy that would have a tuna boat. That's too much for him.
One of his companies might, but
one of his companies, because we also come to find out that he found out he's running drugs and doing all kinds of stuff. That's how he got his wealth. When he took over for his mom and dad after their death and he came back in to reclaim the company, there was nothing left. It was picked clean, like vultures had picked it clean. And then what? What did Wayne Industries do? Do we know?
Everything. But his father was a surgeon. Started out as a surgeon.
Okay.
So I think he got into smuggling, stuff like that, and international intrigue.
I like that is international.
The Batmobile from the last set of movies, that was just an invention so he could smuggle more dope.
Smuggling dope, kids. Smuggling dope. Candy. Oh, here we go. Captain Kirk could take them all. So
Captain Kirk couldn't finish his monologue before they beat the crap out of him.
He didn't have to. He doesn't have to. Captain Kirk, you know why he doesn't have to? Because he's the man. Right? Short. Stocky.
Likes dogs.
Phasers. Is that what it was? Was it a taser or phaser?
Oh, my God.
I'm messing with you.
Somebody save me.
I'm messing with him.
Stop sitting in your car listening to this, thinking it's funny, and get your butt down here and save me.
No. Okay. Superman. This is what 9925 said. And you know what? There's a lot that goes into this world of pop culture, right? Superman's a superhero. Spider-Man, this person says Spider-Man is gay. Really? Because he's married to Zendaya.
That's kind of homophobic.
Yeah, he's married to, was there Zendaya?
Yeah, it's Zendaya.
Excuse me, her name's Marie. That's what he calls her. It was funny. He said something to her. He goes, Marie, let me ask you a question. She turns around. And I'm like, oh, that's weird, right? Because you love somebody as somebody
Is that her
else.
middle name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so. Grown men arguing over cartoons. Okay, let's argue over, what would you like to argue over?
real weapons.
Yeah, how about that? We don't have any. Dude, I read an article today. You guys want to know what waste is? True government waste is. And I read, ProPublica has this article. By the way, just to listen to the article, it's 30 minutes long. It's massive. And it's about a factory that the government spent $500 million on, and it failed 8 audits and never delivered one weapon, and they did nothing to get the money back, and instead awarded the General Dynamics another $2.5 billion contract right after that. Not one job or weapon was created.
Well, what do they care? It's not their money.
There you go. We worry about waste and all this stuff. That is insane. That is absolutely, you know who would have done that? Batman.
No, Batman would have cared, actually, because it was his money.
No, because he's getting government contracts. Yeah, see, look at a lot of people out there talking about Captain Kirk with his double-handed punch. He'd have brought those little trebles, all those little toupees would have attacked people.
Somebody help, please.
What did I say there?
They're tribbles.
What did I say?
Troubles.
No, I said trebles.
Whatever. It was wrong.
Thank you. Can never go wrong talking about superheroes. That's right. You can't. See, a lot of you guys are also asking the question about Batman and Robin. See.
Don't be homophobic.
I'm not. I don't care. Hey, they can live their own life. That's the libertarian side of me. That's just the freedom in me. Freedom. Freedom. That's right, baby. Hot today. Ken is out, as you guys noticed. Ken had to take care of some business today. He said he will try to make it back tomorrow, but he's pretty excited about Mondays, and he can't contain himself.
You better be getting the damn tuna boat, or there's going to be hell to pay.
I do not think. Did you eat that ding dong I gave you yesterday? You did.
I was hungry.
Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. I love that. So 8641 said, sorry, I think you're a good guy. You're just not a good fit for the radio station. I said, why is that? And he says, I don't know. I don't feel you're conservative enough. Started an early liquid lunch. I shouldn't have started this crap. Oh, look.
Hey, they've had the 5 martini lunch since the 50s.
Oh, that was 3 martinis.
Well, nowadays it's 5, inflation.
It's a cost. Again, another one of my expensive lunches today. And by the way, I was listening to a little bit because we were really all debating the Batman thing. But I was listening to that Jesse guy and Chris talk. I'm telling you guys, the expense stuff, inflation, all of that stuff. I know we all make fun of the young. It's easy, right? When we were the youngest, Janet, well, our parents would make fun of us because they didn't care. But the expense stuff, you're going to lose a generation of young voters that you had goodwill with if you don't start paying attention. I was talking to my buddy who is working on 2 campaigns, a state legislative one out in AZ and a federal one, congressional district. And I kept saying, dude, you got to absolutely have to focus on affordability. He's like, yeah, but that's not a good story. We can't tell that story good. I said, well, you better learn to tell a story that's good. And he goes, I know. He goes, whenever we go places, people always ask when you can, affordability, this, that, and the other. You have to focus on that. Yes, there are a bunch of young kids who are a bit of a wackadoo, but, there's also a vast majority. It's like when we talk about college. Oh, it's all crazy lunacy on college campuses. It's a small group of people that are lunatics on college campuses. Teachers, a vast majority of people, they go to school, they get their degree, and then they leave. That's it. The humanities department's full of wackadoos. We know that. But I think we go and broad brush a lot of this, that everybody under the age of 65 is a slacker. Bell. A little bit of a slacker.
Try to be. Hey, if I'm having to work too hard, I made a bad decision somewhere.
I know. I didn't win the lottery yesterday. And you guys are welcome. I brought the sun back. Did you see the 2 cool pictures? Well, one was so they took a picture from Kuwait, And when it goes and it comes up, you can see it looks like it has devil horns. That was pretty cool. But the guy that's a skateboarder in Spain, the pro skateboarder, he hit a half pipe and it was perfect. And it was the way they filmed it. It looked like he was just in front of it. It was amazing.
Well, the devil horns are why Iran needs a nuclear weapon. So when that pops up, they can just shoot the moon.
Oh, that's right. Are we still in that? Is that still going on?
It's on a downturn right now, but give us a few days, we'll win it again.
We've won a lot. I'm sick of the winning. How about a tie once in a while? How about one of those? Batman weakness is poverty. I like that.
No. Batman's weakness is low stock prices.
That's right. He's a 1%er for sure. 1%. Oh, we got so much wacky, fun stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about some serious stuff today, too. I do. I have the greatest, craziest audio that it does make you think, maybe the younger generation is missing a little something. But then I've also got crazy audio from an old person who, for a while, I thought, this person can't be real. But come to find out, this person's very real. And, because on the internet, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, not everything's real. Not everything's absolutely real. Some of it's fake. And now with AI, some of it's way more fake than you realize. But there's some craziness up in this. And we got football tonight. Titans, first game.
So, first loss.
You know what? It's preseason, all right? We're just practicing. It's just practice.
They have to practice losing? I think they've gotten enough practice in.
You know what? I'm going on the record right now. What is the date today? Today's the 13th? August 13th. I think the Titans, they'll win at least 8 games.
You're high.
Excuse
There's a
me?
reason I'm the one who does sports on this show, because you're wrong.
Did you watch the Patriot games yet?
Who?
It's probably because you weren't good at
you mean the offshoot of the Special Olympics?
So wrong, dude. So it was wrong. I think last night they actually had it. No, night before they had it on ESPN.
I give them credit. I mean, they've been able to extend the brand.
You know what? I never even thought of that, Ron. Is Ken driving to Illinois to claim the lottery ticket? Because one person won it last night.
That's probably why. Yeah, and you know what? He's going to go and get his lottery ticket and get his winnings and won't even bring a tuna boat back because, bastard.
Yeah, that would not be cool beans. I got to say that right now.
He just won $300 million behind our backs.
That's why. Isn't it suspicious that he's not here? Because he gave us this fake, I got stuff to do today. But I'm not buying it. Now I'm not buying it at all. Poor Jay's stuck in there. Jay's going to find out he's going to be stuck in there for a while now that he won the lottery.
So at least until they can either make him full-time or find somebody to replace him.
Man.
Because Ken ain't coming back after he winning $300 million.
God, I didn't even think, that didn't even cross my mind that he would have done that. Thank you guys for finding that out. Coming up, though, some hilariously crazy audio. We're also going to talk about, should camping outside be a felony?
Well, it already is in this.
I know. Well, but they didn't really try it, but now it's back again. I mean, I don't think it's a felony, but we're going to discuss that. A bunch of other good stuff. We will talk a bit about Iran because apparently there's all kinds. First of all, how long did it take for the conspiracies to start coming out about the attempted assassination attempt? It's interesting. That's already out there. Plus, we're going to talk a bit about, how the weather is going to be so freaking hot this week. And I'm excited. I was supposed to go play golf today, but I can't even do that because it's too damn hot. And I've been told I can't go outside anymore thanks to Bell.
No, you're the one who was like, you got to get out of the house.
You do,
more.
Bell. You do. People, if you guys can text in and on the YouTube line and Twitch and wherever else, Bell needs to get out of the house, even if he goes for a good walk. It helps, dude.
And 110-degree heat. Now I pass.
It's not always 110 degrees.
Yeah, sometimes it's 108.
All right. This is where we differ in our friendship right here. And we put somebody to death today. We did it. Gone.
You don't want your pets dying in pain, so you euthanize them.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, kids. There you go. Chad Ben's Show, Super Talk 99.7. Relief Factor is awesome. I take it every single day. It actually works from the inside out. You're like, what is this, Chad? It is amazing. It's naturally formulated. Right? You get it. It's incredible. It's 4 pills. Take them. And what they do is the way it activates, they go inside your body because the aches and pains you have in your body, a vast majority of that is, little things, your muscles, your joints. It's inflammation. But it adds up over time, and then you think, I've got to live like this. You don't. With Relief Factor, it works from the inside out. It actually combats and takes on the thing that is causing you that inflammation. I want you to try it right now. A 3-week quick start. So you get a bag, take it for 3 weeks. You can take it every single day. Naturally formulated, third-party tested for purity and potency, so you don't have to worry about that. You can't get addicted to it. It's not big pharma. That's what I love. And the beauty of it is $17.76 for a 3-week quick start. It works. It works for me. I know it'll work for you. Go to relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com right now to get yours, or call 800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
An illegal immigrant in California who's been arrested numerous times has been arrested again, this time for murder. We've got more news on a story that just won't go away. And your morning commute here in Nashville, especially downtown, may get a little interesting, even more so. We'll have those stories at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, Jay, quick question for you, brother.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chad.
What's going on with the Dodgers, man?
Oh, wow. I know. They've just kind of been on a swoon, huh?
It's almost like they got Tarek Skubal and they thought, we're going to be fine.
Yeah, right. And they haven't won since?
They've struggled a bit. I'm just like, okay, come on, guys, let's get it together.
Hey, it happens. Dog days of summer, man.
And here's another, and this, so I asked everybody this yesterday. $12.5 billion for the Lakers.
Yeah, I know. Saw that.
That guy he got it last October is when he took over the team. So less than a year, he made on average, $8.5 million a day. So he made $2.5 billion in a year. Here's my question to you. What are the Cowboys worth? If they're worth $12.5 billion, what are the Cowboys worth?
Yeah, and what are the Yankees worth?
Exactly. I was trying to explain to people, like, why people spend this much. And you know this, man. They spend like that because when you're that wealthy, everybody's got a Bugatti. Everybody has a boat. everybody has a plane. Not everybody has a team. There's very few of these people that get to own these things. And remember when Mark Cuban tried to buy the Cubs and Major League Baseball's like, yeah, we don't want you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we don't want you here.
Well, Bob Iger is one of the new owners of the Lakers, the former Disney exec. Of course, he, helped run that company in the ground. But, but we'll see how he does with the Lakers.
Apparently, from what I get, they were trying to they had to make a decision about something Sunday night of whether or not they were going to be the ones to invest all this money into the Vegas team, the expansion team, and it was going to be Iger and Kushner, and they were going back and forth, and they were dealing, and then they picked up the phone and they called the owner of the Lakers and they said, "Do you want to sell the Lakers?" And the guy's like, no. And he goes, $12.5 billion. He goes, "They're yours." So they're yours. And they said it was out of nowhere. The Lakers weren't for sale. The guy was happy as can be. But money right there.
Yeah, big time. I'm almost surprised that Magic Johnson didn't get in on that deal. He's one of the gazillionaires as part of the Dodger ownership.
Yeah, the Guggenheim Group. I'm surprised too that he didn't. That's what because Kushner, for those of you guys know, this is Josh Kushner. This is the younger brother of Jared. He's the really rich one. He's worth $5.2 billion. He started when Obamacare took off, he started a huge insurance company. Then he's got Thrive Capital and a bunch of other stuff, and they were early investors in SpaceX and whatnot. And then Iger's worth about $1 billion from Disney. Disney paid him basically $1 billion to just stop touching our stuff.
Yeah, go away.
Why do we hire you again and again and again?
Well, they hired him, then he retired, then he picked his successor, and his successor was utterly atrocious at the job, and they brought him back to replace his successor.
Yeah. So it's good money if you can get it, though. So, it's crazy, though. The Cowboys are worth $34 billion. I don't know if they're worth $34 billion, but I would say if you were Jerry Jones tonight, right, and you said, all right, here's the deal. Because everybody, Titans all the way across, every single owner, when they heard $12.5 billion, went, what? What was that? 12.5? Oh, hold on a second here. That's a lot of money.
Jerry Jones has so much ego, though. He's GM of the team.
Yeah. It's the ego keeps him there.
He's the owner. He's the quarterback.
Yeah. He's the kicker.
Yeah, he's a water boy.
So, but I would say if he was to say, all right, you guys, you have to have all of your bids to me by 11:59 Sunday, sealed. We'll make a decision by 5. I bet you'd somebody write a $20 billion bid in there. I bet you somebody would. For a team, what did he buy him for? Nothing?
And then you take the logo, put that on your desk, and throw the team away.
Well, no. The team is, that's it. You could, if you could ever win now in this world, in this environment with the Cowboys built everything in a much different way. Now with all of the social media and everything, they're already the biggest team in American sports by far.
What was our national debt the last time they won a Super Bowl?
Well, I don't think we had a national debt.
You're probably right.
I don't. I mean, it was what, 90? Was it 96? I think when they
so about.
Do we have a surplus? We're heading towards a surplus.
Oh.
So.
Then they ruined that.
Yeah. They did. They'd ruin that.
Hey, guys, we got a surplus. What are we going to do? Spend it.
Spend it. Quick, spend it good. All right, coming up, talk a little bit about, a bunch of different things. Like camping outdoors. Should it be illegal to the point where it's a felony? A felony, you say? Plus, Jay's got your scoop on why traffic may be worse and probably has nothing to do with whether or not you can turn right or left somewhere. Chad Bench, though, Super Talk 997.
31 minutes past high noon. I'm Jay Harper in for Ken Weaver. He hopefully will be back tomorrow. We've got a full forecast on the way. Homeland Security officials say a suspect accused of killing a homeowner in Northern California while trying to burglarize the home. He had just gotten out of the pokey the day before. He's in the country illegally. ABC's Alex Stone has more.
Marcos Hirate Valdez is accused of showing up at the Martinez, California home of 68-year-old Todd Stewart. When Stewart confronted Hirate Valdez, finding him burglarizing the home, police say Stewart was stabbed and killed. Prosecutors say Hirate Valdez had been released from custody 1 day before the murder. He had been in custody for other alleged burglaries, but was released pending trial. And the Department of Homeland Security says he's in the country illegally from Venezuela with citizenship in Spain. He's now in custody, charged with murder.
A federal judge is asking attorneys with the Department of Justice why the department redacted or withheld certain documents pertaining to the Epstein files. Back in June, Judge Emmett Sullivan ruled that the DOJ's omissions and redactions violated the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Today, he's evidently going document by document, asking the DOJ about specific incidents. And we've got a report here now from ABC's Peter Haralambous.
The first one are a batch of notes and emails where the names have been redacted. He didn't think there was enough documentation about why those names had to be redacted to prove they were actually victims as opposed to associates of Epstein. The second batch of documents relate to the FBI's interview of this woman who made unsubstantiated allegations against President Trump. The DOJ released the FBI reports about those interviews, but not the underlying notes. And now the judge wants to know why, under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, the DOJ believes they can withhold the handwritten notes.
Back here in Nashville, Nashvillians' morning commute may soon have some more stops along the way as a bill that would ban right turns on red is moving its way through Metro Council. A bill that would ban right turns on red in parts of Nashville has passed its first reading. It's now on its way to the Metro Traffic and Parking Commission and its second reading in Metro Council. Channel 2 here in town checked with the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure on red light times. Officials, they say, it could vary, but near downtown, they average between a minute and a little over 90 seconds. Although this could lead to more stop and go, some argue it's worth the pause to improve pedestrian safety. As we all know, it seems like every couple of weeks at times we have another pedestrian death by somebody that is not really paying attention behind the wheel. That's the latest news. We've got weather coming up. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
We always talk about taxes here, right? We don't want taxes. We want this, that, and the other. Well, we're almost at $40 trillion in debt. Understand where we're at, $40 trillion. In fact, we're at a point now with how much debt we're in, you need somebody like Beacon, because to think that we're not going to see taxes in the future would be foolish. It's going to come. And if you're on a fixed income and you're in retirement, you need to make sure you have a plan. Beacon has one for you. I encourage you to talk with Beacon. They're incredible. They're going to help retirees, pre-retirees develop a forward-looking tax strategy, help greater tax efficiency, what you need throughout the entire retirement, right? It's not just for retirement too, because these things are going to be changing, and this debt is going to be there, and they're going to have to get it from somewhere, and everybody knows that. So call Beacon today, 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303. They'll set you up with a plan for your taxes. On top of that, they can help you with everything from Medicare to health insurance to, yes, long-term care insurance, trust, you name it, they can do it all, and your investments as well. 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303, or online at askbeaconnow.com to learn more. For Beacon Capital Management, this is the paid placement. Do you see that DC Blocks is suing now? Because, this is the battle that's going to go on because, okay, so now you want to steal the property. You want to stop it. We bought the property. We did everything. You knew about it. People freaked out about it. And now you want to stop it. Here's the crazy thing about data centers. Okay, and this is where all DC Blocks is among many of them. Not all of it's bad. What's the fine print say? That's the thing that you have to know. To say that there's no hum would be a lie. Some of them do have hums. To say that they are going to do nothing but bring prosperity would be a lie. But it's a necessary evil. Because guess what? The rest of the world's not going to stop. They're just not. In particular, China. China is beating us in AI. Now, we may be beating them on the weapons side, which is kind of what we care about, right? But they're beating us in AI in a lot of ways because right now our spend out is massive, but their build outs are huge because they don't have some of the stuff. If we were in China, do you think that we'd be talking about whether or not the DC Blocks China version could put something there? No, they just tear out the entire neighborhood and put it there. So we're blessed in a major way here. But this is, so they're suing Metro Council over this, and it's understandable. Like, if people wouldn't have, in particular, the zoo wouldn't have raised the alarm, and then because what we're seeing is none of it's based on reality for the most part. It's based on just emotion. And once emotion gets involved, it's over. Because Bell and I will be talking, and then he gets super emotional, and I know I can't have a conversation with him.
It's not true.
It's very true. It's
Very
not
not
true.
true.
But this is going to be...
And I don't appreciate you saying it either.
Yes, you do. You love it. You love it when I air your dirty laundry. So, what's the fine print say? Where's the best place for it? Right? And I was watching Tim Dillon the other day, and he was, kind of going off about the data centers. And so, because Georgia, they're having a big one. They're going in, and they've claimed eminent domain. They're taking stuff away. And Tim Dillon was hilarious. He's all, you know what? I don't live in America if a billionaire can't come in and take your property so they can put up stuff for more billions, right? I don't live in America.
Well, the Supreme Court has already ruled that if you take somebody's property so that a company can come in and put like if Walmart wants to come in and build a Walmart on your land, and the taxes from that Walmart are going to benefit the community, that's okay.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court has said that's okay.
Yeah, it's got to be a benefit to the community.
Yeah, and those taxes
have to be there. And see, that's the thing. With the data centers, we're going to hear all these jobs. There's not a lot of jobs. There's some jobs. These things this isn't a factory. They don't need 900 people standing in front of something while something's happening. They don't. It's going to get better over time when it comes to the energy. But let's be real. We should be worried about some of this. In some areas, it has taken them a long time to see the rates even out a little bit. And if you're on a fixed income, and the struggle's real right now. When you talk about the expense, and we hear from some of you guys out there, oh, you just need to work harder. You just need to do this. You need to, come on. Life is more expensive. Can we all agree it's a little bit more expensive? And at times it's a lot more expensive. Between tariffs, the rising cost of fuel, the fact that even though when Trump took office, we saw inflation back down around, 2.3, 2.5. The reality is all of those things were BS. It's never, whatever inflation is, usually you double it. Because they like to strip out things like housing, food, gas, everything you need to live. They only care about socks and T-shirts.
Well, Matt has a saying is anytime government is involved and they claim it's going to cost a certain amount, double that. And when they say it's going to bring in a certain benefit, cut it in half.
Cut it in half. Government, it's imperative, though, that when these things are moving in places, because the knee-jerk reaction now is, even in places like Texas, right? These are red states, blue states, all the states. They're coming in. No, we can't allow these things here. Where can we put them that is going to be beneficial for AI and the companies At the same time, do the least amount of damage and or raise rates across places. What benefits are you giving some of these companies? That big one out in Utah, perfect example, by the way, which is shrinking because they've a lot of promises made, a lot of stuff ended up being BS. Even what's his name? Mr. O'Leary, Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. He said the way that he went about doing some of this stuff was not great, including, going after a couple of these young kids and people out there that were against it, saying they were Chinese spies. And,
is it his company that's involved in?
Yeah, he's the one that's putting it together. And that it's shrinking, and, people found out in the tape, the red tape. I mean, not the red tape, but the fine print. And this was fascinating. Taxes. Anything they buy in Arizona, they don't have to pay taxes on. Any of the material they buy, any of that. So who's paying for that? We are. And I get the incentive thing to a certain extent. If you're going to bring in tons of taxes, eventually, I could see why you do some of those things. But it's just about common sense, which we lack in many ways in this because it becomes emotion. Remember, emotion's the thing that matters. If I can get you angry and pissed, I can get you to act.
It's not true. You want to be angry and pissed, and I'm going to sit right here.
Yeah, we know you. We know you. We know you. So, and look, things are going to come in the future. One of the cool things about some of the new stuff, they've got this new this gel that can cool these computers in a way, but it's still, some of these things are still far away from that.
Is that, would that be like a water-cooled computer, but they're using the gel inside the system instead?
Uh-huh. Okay. And that's, which I find to be, that's fascinating. I mean, I'm surprised here they would think about putting some of these things here because remember, one of the big reasons that they wanted to put that big one out in Utah is because dry heat, one of them. But the other thing is a vast majority of the year, it's cool enough that you don't have to run the air all the time to cool. You can naturally cool some of this stuff.
Yeah, you put it on a salt flat and it's going to be cold at night and warm in the morning. Or in the daytime.
So, we'll see. We'll see what the lawsuit. But my thing with the whole thing with the DC blocks is I understand why they're suing. The council was aware of it. This just didn't pop up because the zoo said something. They were aware of it. It got through all the things it was supposed to get through. They had purchased everything, and then it became a political headache, and then the pivot came.
People are mad. They might blame us. We better do something.
You remember, here's a perfect example. You remember TikTok? We got to ban TikTok. The Chinese are going to have everything. And then they ban TikTok. Everybody gets together. You're like, we got to ban TikTok. So they ban it. And then everybody's like calling their senators and congresspeople saying, we're going to oust you. We're going to do all this stuff. Everybody. And Trump's like, well, maybe we'll figure it out.
Your campaign Facebook page is about to go out of business, mister.
And what did end up happening? We still have TikTok because the noise was so loud, it moved it. This is what happened. The noise is so loud here, it moved it. What's the reality of it? The Chinese are spying on us anyways. I don't know if you're aware of this. Do you have a TV that's from China? It's looking at you.
There was probably a certain amount of efficiency doing it through TikTok because of the
algorithms.
algorithms.
The difference there is they can craft narratives.
Right, yeah.
Like pro-China, whatever, they can divide and stuff. But that's the difference there. Between that compared to just them gathering copious amounts of data that who knows what they're going to do with it. So, but this was an emotional thing. And I don't, let's just say DC Block says, we found somewhere else. We want you guys to pay us back, cover our attorney fees, all the crap, and you give us 10%. Do you think they're still going to, on top of everything, do you think they're still going to claim eminent domain then?
Well, wouldn't they do it just to avoid the cost?
I would assume. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea because I don't think they were going to claim it if a call center went in there. By the way, did you see? Speaking of call centers, did you see what they're charging in France for all the? Every time the AI bots are doing so many calls, robocalls every day, that if they catch you, they're charging you, like for every call, ungodly amounts of fines.
What, like $100,000?
Like $400,000.
Nice.
It's a lot of money. But the thing is, those are all they're all out of Eastern Europe. That's where all the weird stuff happens. Eastern Europe, some basement in Serbia.
Basement of a hostel.
That's by the way, a basement in Serbia. That's exactly where Batman is. So, why don't they put those data centers middle of North Dakota, South Dakota? Oh, they're going in some of these places. No doubt about that. But they've got to spread them out. They got to spread them out.
All of Montana should be a data center.
Yeah, you could. Trump would be like, could we make Yellowstone a data center? What would that be like? That'd be cool. It'd be great. Did you guys hear I almost got blowed up? Don't worry, I didn't tell anybody else we could be blowed up, and we put them all on a plane. Here's the new conspiracy on this one. You hear Turkey came out and said, because Iran kind of laughed and said, huh? And we're like, Chris, we don't believe them. But then Turkey came out and said, yeah, this was Israel. Israel floated it out there that this could happen. And the CIA even came out and said, yeah, we don't think it was as credible as they were making it.
It's like the old days when J. Edgar Hoover would want a meeting with the president. And he'd get into the meeting and go, sir, we've discovered that the Russians know that you have a secret mistress. Oh, really? We need to protect you from the Russians.
The Russians. Well, yeah. Well, and the Russians are back now. Communism's back. Communism's really not back. I mean, it's not. I think we reckon. I hope you guys understand that. That's a great way to scare people.
Yeah, if you're a communist, you're not smart enough to run a country.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah. This is a beautiful way to scare people. Coming up, his name is Bell. He does sports. He told me earlier, this is why you don't do sports, Chad. This is why I do the sports. That's right. Don't.
That's right.
We'll do that straight ahead. Chad Bencho, Super Talk 99.7. Bulwark Capital. I was talking to my buddy last night, Zach. He's up 14% over the market this year, over 74-ish% from January of last year. And I was like, what are you doing? He goes, we don't really invest much here in America anymore. Right now, everything's a little too overbought, and we look for value. And I said, that's awesome. And that's what you should be looking for, somebody who's out there active. And he says, look, the number one thing is we not only do we do our due diligence and everything, we're active investors. Our thing is making sure lower risk, lower cost, hedge, protect, risk management, grab the things we need to grab and when we go in and make money and get out. And don't be greedy. And I'm like, I love that. That's why he handles my money, my family's money. And I think you should give him a call. Actually, just here, better yet, sign up for a free Know Your Risk portfolio review. They'll go through your portfolio, show you where he's at, show you where you're at with all your stuff. If your stuff's great, he'll tell you, keep going. If not, he'll show you, hey, these are some of the things we can do for you. And then you decide from there if you'd like to continue to talk. It's that simple. Sign up today. Free Know Your Risk portfolio review. Go to knowyourriskpodcast.com. KNOW, yourriskpodcast.com. Knowyourriskpodcast.com.
Violence in the West Bank in the Middle East is intensifying. And is anyone really surprised? An earthquake out west this morning and a Tennessee execution carried out today. We'll have those stories at the top of the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's that portion of the program where we sit back, relax, and let Bell run the show because he's sports-tacular. Swamp-ass news report. I can't get any good help around here, and that includes me. I was like, are we doing Swamp-ass? No, we're doing Bell Sports. Good God, Chad, what are we doing today?
We'll do both.
Yeah, hot, gross. Don't go outside.
Now it's time for Sports with Bell. When you need to know sports information, you turn to the guy who calls basketball shooty hoops. Let's talk some sports with Bell.
There's swamp ass at the Titans training camp.
Well, they're in San Francisco.
But I didn't say anything about the team, did I?
You did not. So,
who are they playing?
49ers.
If they lose, they don't get the stadium. I say we just take it.
The new one or the old one?
The new one. They don't get it. We'll just build it for some. You know what? It'll be Taylor Swift's Home Away from Home.
So we're gonna give it to her.
We're gonna give it to Taylor, and anytime she wants to do a show, she just pops into the stadium.
Little T-swizzle.
Yeah. If she wants to sell tickets, she can sell them. If she wants to give them all away, it's up to her. But if the Titans don't win, they don't beat the 49ers, no new stadium for you.
It's not. Remember, it's preseason, so
matter.
Everybody's playing for like 2 minutes.
A loss is a loss.
No, not these. The second game is the game that kind of counts, because that's where you play your starters a little bit more, and you kind of get a feel. And the third game, you don't play anybody really because your whole worry is that somebody's going to get hurt.
Okay, if they don't win at least 2 of the first 3 games of the preseason, they don't get the stadium.
Well, that seems a little rude.
I think,
I like the stadium.
I call
looks
it motivational.
Good.
I call it motivation.
A stadium looks really cool. It's got to be better than Buffalo's.
It went from like feeling like that thing was just about to complete itself in a day because it went up fast.
Yeah.
And now it seems like it's really slowed down.
When I first got here, so 2 years, going on 2 years in, goodness me, like 2 weeks. So, and I remember I started, when I first got here, like Pickleball Kingdom wasn't open. I got a place to play pickleball, and I would drive by the stadium, and all that was there was the old stadium. There wasn't there, which is, and now it's like, and now it's just kind of, now they're putting in the intricacies of everything.
You're probably doing things like a ton of wiring and plumbing and stuff like that.
And hopefully they're learning from how bad Buffalo built their stadium, because it looks great, but man, there's a lot of issues with that thing.
It's going to be a great stadium. Hopefully the Titans can earn it.
They're going to be
Otherwise,
fine.
They're not going to get it.
They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. I'm telling you that. Turn the stadium into a data center.
Isn't it?
Oh, cost as much. Coming up, hour number 2 of the program. A lot of stuff to get to. We're going to talk about the WNBA. I don't know if you're aware of this. Women play basketball. We will discuss the WNBA.
That's not true.
And what's going on and how they're continuing to swing and miss at opportunity after opportunity. And we'll talk a little bit about Iran. And I've got some audio that's going to make you go, excuse me? Chad Ben Show, Super Talk 99.7.
Allah Akbar.
It is 1 p.m. I'm Jay Harper in for Ken Weaver today. I've got your top stories and a full forecast is coming up here shortly. And hot is the operative word in that forecast. Violence in the West Bank is intensifying. For several nights, Israeli settlers around a few Palestinian homes, preventing the families from leaving. One person was holed up inside with his teenage son when settlers cut off water and electricity. ABC's Britt Clinette has more.
The property belongs to Abu Ridi's brother, a Palestinian-American businessman who contacted the U.S. Embassy. U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee, he says that the embassy asked Israel to remove the settlers, and really in an unusually blunt language, kind of language that we've heard from Huckabee, he called those responsible Israeli terrorists. And he said there was no excuse for their intimidation of the family.
An earthquake shaking the San Francisco Bay Area this morning. Here's Alex Stone out in California.
Even though it was classified as a minor earthquake, BART trains were stopped as a precaution, but there was no damage and there were no injuries. The shaking was pretty much right under the Oakland Zoo, right on the border with Oakland and San Leandro. The USGS originally said it was a 4.1 magnitude, but it got downgraded several times to a 3.8. There were two smaller aftershocks. The shaking was minor, but people felt the main quake all over the Bay Area.
A trial against the parent company of Facebook, Meta. It's underway in Oakland, California. The social media giant facing a lawsuit from several states about how their platforms affect the mental health of teens and kids. We hear from ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
Jury selection kicked off in federal court in Oakland, California, Wednesday in a case brought against Meta by a coalition of state attorneys general. They claim that Meta engineered its platforms to get young people hooked and illegally collected their data. Now, the state AGs are seeking changes to Meta's apps for people under age 18, including ending infinite scrolling, video autoplay, and like counts. They also want Meta to tweak its algorithm to prioritize content that promotes well-being for young users.
Back here in Tennessee, executed death row inmate Anthony Darnell Hines. He was put to death this morning, less than 3 months after the state's last execution attempt was called off when the execution team ran into problems establishing the IV access needed for lethal injection. Hines, though, 66 years of age, he was executed at Riverbend Maximum Security Prison here in Nashville for the murder of Catherine Jenkins. This happened 41 years ago, 1985. Hines spent those 4 decades on Tennessee's death row before his execution on Tuesday. The governor, Bill Lee, he denied clemency for Hines. That's the latest news. Weather's up next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
Times are tough. Absolutely, I agree. Now, if you need a new truck or a minivan, maybe an SUV, Mid-10 Ford, they can help you out with great selection, terrific pricing as well. Mid-10 Ford, they've been around for 56 years, since 1969, helping people get the vehicle that is right for them. They can help you save $1,000 or more on select Ford trucks. They also offer special financing as well if you need it. Now, Mid-10 Ford, I like to say that they're a one-stop shop. You can buy your vehicle there at Mid-10 Ford. You can get it serviced. They have a body shop as well. So you want a brand new or a pre-owned vehicle, you can check out all of the great deals at their website, mid10fordtrucks.com. That's mid10fordtrucks.com. They offer low-pressure sales, maximum customer service if you show up at their business, 1319 Foster Avenue. This is a family-owned business going back 4 generations. So, yeah, they do know how to treat customers. So let them help you get into your next vehicle. Again, low-pressure sales, maximum customer service. Find them online, mid10fordtrucks.com. That's mid10fordtrucks.com. Let their family take care of your family.
Bell, do you have something to say to everybody?
No. I will say, we were talking about swamp ass.
Yeah.
And I looked up the today's temperature. I can't believe how lucky we got. It's going to be 34 degrees.
I don't think he understands how that works.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. That's Celsius.
Yeah, Celsius.
My bad.
Celsius.
But the swamp ass is actually, it's going to be the Titans' fault.
Okay. You know what? We're going to do the swamp ass report in a second. Before we went to break, you said something. What did you say?
Probably something to get me fired. I don't know. What was
You
it?
didn't remember what you said?
No.
You're Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar.
Oh, yeah.
People are like, what did I just hear on the radio?
I was trying to stay with the theme. We were talking about Iran.
Oh, see, you got to put
Assalamu alaikum.
Shalom alaikum ding dong. There's a great movie out. HBO did it. It's about Don King. Ving Rhames played him.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So, and remember the whole thing with Muhammad Ali.
When he converted,
and he had the
Nation of Islam.
Nation of Islam. And one of the guys, I don't know if it was Farrakhan or something. It was in the bathroom. They were in the bathroom coming out, and the guy's all assalamu alaikum, and and Ving Rhames playing Don King goes, yeah, shalom alaikum ding dong.
Did that really happen? That wouldn't surprise me with Don King.
I interviewed Don King at the Republican National Convention in Cleveland. He was everything you think he should have been, right? So, because he was friends with Trump, he'd known Trump for a long time, and Rance Priebus, who was running the GOP at the time, had invited Don. He kept calling Rance, who's standing right there, Rance Priebus, he kept calling him a Rance Priskin.
Is that like Snake Plissken?
He goes, Rance Priskin invited me. And whole time he's walking around with the flags, just waving them. He was hilarious. But you said it, so just let you guys know that. By the way, let's get this out of the way.
And to the person that asked, no, I do not have a vest on.
Oh, for God's sakes. Oh, Lord. Now it's time for the Swamp Ass News Report with the weather wizard, Ken Weaver. Now, Ken.
I hate swamp ass. Kid in school got swamp ass. Cats followed him around for a year.
A whole year.
Okay, here we go. What's the weather like? This we're gonna do the best we can with Bell, because remember, everything is special.
It's great. It's actually extremely comfortable. I have been enjoying the cool air that is coming from the air conditioning that is right above me. And I don't know what's going on outside because I don't go out there. But I'm sure it's unpleasant. And that's why I don't go out there, is because it is unpleasant.
We must encourage Bell to seek the outdoors. 15 minutes a day, dude. A quick walk around the block.
In my next contract negotiation, I'm having a tunnel built from my house to here, so I never have to go.
Get Elon to bore you here.
Yeah, I'll just the hell with the company. I'll just have Elon bore me an offshoot with the underground tunneler.
Oh, lordy.
It was pretty humid when I came in this morning, and I got here about 9:30.
It's humid now, and it's going to be. I'm going to give you guys.
I didn't expect it to get better.
Yeah. So, several of you have asked me what's going on in the USS Lincoln. If you guys haven't heard, we've had some issues on the Lincoln over there in the Gulf. The big thing is they haven't been to shore. They haven't been there. So, buddy, my client, who is my military analyst buddy of mine, he's amazing. I said, dude, what's going on? Because I've been asking him, and we did some this week, and he said they've got to get them to the shore. They've broken the record. Usually it's 30 to 45 days you're out, then you're back in, even if you're just refueling, refueling your soul, getting on land for a little bit, giving some R&R, getting back on the ship and doing. I said, what's going on over there? And his son's actually on there. He says, I think it's a bit of a perfect storm. I'm sure they're tired. I'm sure they're having challenges. And you get a little cabin fever, by the way. That is a city with lots of people on it. He goes, he said his son, he says, everybody's just bitching, complaining all day. And he goes, it's multiplying. It's little things. A lot of it's morale. A lot of it is just so much. And when you guys know this, when you're with somebody in that space, I mean, even you can go somewhere, you're there and you can't escape it. And so they're doing what they can, but he said even before all this stuff came out that they got to get them in even for a little while. They need to replenish. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot of frustration. I think there's a lot of, because you've heard stories that there was some suicide attempts and this, that, and the other, and you never believe exactly the first thing you hear. We know that from all media. And that's why I tell you, no matter what happens, go and find it. If the New York Times says something crazy and you're like, that can't be true, go see what, juxtapose that with whatever Fox might have to say about it. And here's the thing where it might really be true. If the other side super ignores it because it could hurt them politically, then it's probably true.
Or at minimum, it has the ability to grow legs.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's just it. Who won One Hit Wonder yesterday? I did.
No, that's not true. Ken won it, and I came in second. But
that was the closest I think we'd ever been.
I do have to give credit where credit is due. You were third.
Yeah, I was.
Now that was an extremely. In fact, when I won week before last, that was very close, and this week's was pretty close too.
Yeah.
And Ken won with what was his?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Heavy metal.
Oh, that's right, from Don Felder, and I had
April Wine.
April Wine. And what was yours?
I had the Walking on the Moon.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Which, honestly, 3 very, very different songs, and they all came very close to being winners.
Yes. Well, we're winners here. That's what we do. We're winners here, so let you guys know that.
It was just surprising that with them being so different, that one of them just didn't take off and run away with it.
Yeah. Because, we had early 80s?
Late 70s, early 80s, and the 2000s.
2014, 15, 13, whatever it was. The thing with Iran, all right, I give Trump a lot of crap, and on this, he deserves it. I said yesterday, and I'll continue to say this, I think he's at the point now where he's like, you know what, if I just ignore it, maybe they'll go away. We'll talk about, let's go prosecute the guy, again, the canoeist who cut up the reflecting pool. So he came out today and said, we don't control anything. They do. They control it. What we're looking for, Sun Tzu, you're trying to get the win. Both sides need to realize this. Their new plan, which is kind of the same as their old plan, which is we're just going to outlast you. We'll outlast you all the way through your term if we have to. And that's kind of what they're doing. Because they, people are like, well, we're going to cripple them. They've been crippled, right? That's like, they're at the point now where they're so broke, but they've learned how to live around it and built it. And then somebody's like, they call up because one of their credit cards is in default. It's like, we'll show you. They don't care at this point.
And they've had since 1978 to learn how to deal with these kind of sanctions.
Yeah.
This is not new environment for them.
No. And they still have China. China's still feeding them whatever they need when they can get a hold of it. They still have Russia when they can get a hold of some stuff. They've got things that they can go to. Turkey, right? Because Turkey's not a fan of Israel. They've got things. So it's not like, we're not surrounding them and starving them out. They have been in this position for a long time. It's like when we talk about like the swamp ass, if you're used to being out in this every day, you're kind of used to it. If you've shown up here from the Antarctic and you walk outside and it's 95, it's a new thing.
You're going to have a stroke.
You're going to have a stroke right there. So we bit off, and they said today, and you know what? It's what I've been saying. Trump underestimated them. And whoever he was listening to underestimated their attitude because he thought everybody was going to rise up and everybody's going to do all these things. But he was all over the place. And now it's just time to go, look, we're done. The problem is Trump's not going to allow that to happen in that way. We're not going to put 100,000, 200,000 boots on the ground. It just isn't going to happen. So, and we're not going to bomb them to submission. It's never happened. It's never happened. We've never bombed into regime change. Nobody has. So now you're stuck with how long are we going to go? And that affects you and I each and every day. And they changed the outlook today on the prices. So they set forward contracts. Forward contracts are going to keep gas in and around if they were to stay this way. This is if everything's fine. And China doesn't start buying in bulk again. It's going to stay in between $3.60 and $4.10 here. Maybe get cheaper in some places. Obviously, use your points and rewards. Yeah, you look at you, your points and rewards guy.
You're lucky if you've got those.
Yeah, you are.
If you're set up that way to where you can at least get some form of discount.
Yeah. So I think this is kind of the norm for a while. This is the highest prices have been in August in history. So this is the norm for a bit. Does it suck? It does. It does. But do you guys think Trump's going to give in at any given time? He's got to have a win. Here's the thing. He's got to have a win. What's the win here? We're not going to nuke him because then the world's going to go, then World War III is truly going to take off. So that ain't going to happen. So we're not going to, the bombs that we're lobbing in there now, they are, they could hit a house and they're not going to do a lot of damage to the house next to it kind of thing. I mean, it's more strategic than anything else. So we could drop a 2,000-pound, one of those big bunker busters here or there, but it's not going to happen the way that, that this group's not giving up because they have nothing to fall back on. If they give up and they give in, they die. So if you're in their position, you're fighting too. And they feel like they've got the upper hand. Because all they have to do is control that little waterway. And we're not going to send our men and women in there to die. Because then Trump risks becoming, Jimmy Carter. And he sees the poll numbers. He can tell everybody that, they're only mad at because that thing the other day, what he said, I don't know if you saw that, Bill. He came out and he said, yeah, the Republicans, they're not mad at me. All these people, they're mad at the Republicans. They're not mad at me. They're upset with the Republicans.
He's the leadership of the Republican Party.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing.
The guys that are really fiscally conservative, according to Mike Johnson.
Those guys have never been fiscally conservative. Not these guys.
Come on, you're calling Mike Johnson a liar?
I am. I called to his face. Said, dude, you guys are spending money like you're going out of style.
Shame on you.
We're heading towards $40 trillion. Right now, our debt, our service is more than we spend on the military. So think about that.
And that number alone is insane.
So think about the fact that we're at a point now, and this is what's going to be scary. At some point in time in the future, very near, they're going to drop rates really low so we can refinance the debt, which is going to send inflation. And, that's not a winning situation. But you have no choice. Leaders have to make tough decisions. And sometimes you have to know you bit into a porcupine and the porcupine is staying in its hole and we're not going to dig out the porcupine. So let's pivot. Coming up, crazy fun audio. We got some of that because I like crazy funny audio. We are going to talk a little bit about the WNBA because they just announced, are you ready? They're going to have a task force on transgender athletes.
Well, now I feel much better. Everything's solved.
Everything's solved. Why does everything have to be a task force? Why can't people walk in a room and go, guys, let's have a 10-minute conversation about the reality of this?
Well, we need a physical report when we're done.
Paper trail. Like NES.
Exactly.
Paper trail. We'll talk about that, among other things, straight ahead. Chad Benso, Super Talk 99.7. Incogni is awesome. Your data is floating around out there, and you don't want it to be floating around. You ever had your identity stolen? It sucks. You ever had people, send you hundreds of spam emails, phone calls, text messages? Yeah, that sucks too. You don't want any of that. What you want is your data to control it. And all of your data is out there. Everything you could think of, and some stuff you probably didn't even know was out there. That's why you need Incogni. They go in, take on the data brokers, get your names, get all your information off of their sites and keep it off their sites, which is also very important. And they can sell it to anybody they want. You and I could go buy data. That's it. We can go by anybody's data. Much you want. People search sites, all of them. They've gotten me off hundreds of sites. My phone, quiet. Don't get text messages. Don't get spam calls. Don't get any of those things anymore. Thank you, Incogni. Sign up today. Save big. 60% off right now. And let me tell you what you do. You go to incogni.com/Benson, incogni.com/Benson to save 60% when you use my code Benson for incogni.com/Benson. Get your data back. Incogni.com/Benson.
No talks between the U.S. and Iran. They are still at a stalemate. And more news on the issue that just does not seem to want to go away. And Tennessee driver's licenses. Well, if you've got a new one, you may have a problem. We'll have all that coming up at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I promised you guys some crazy audio. We've been a little serious today. Now, this lady, for whatever reason, and she's not progressive crazy. So you can't, she's not like, let me tell you what we need to do. We need to let turtles run the world because they're sweet. It's none of that. I went to school and my humanity teacher told me this once. It's not that. This person's just genuinely, something's going on. And by the way, I just want to tell you guys this. Apparently, Sandra Bullock hates her.
It's me, Stacey Kennison. Be on the lookout for a Sandra Bullock in the witchcraft crime ring and a Carrie lady with red hair, ruddy skin, white skin from Siena Francis homeless shelter. They're looking for a blasphemous that they can point at and do to pay for the fact that my relative died and that they got money.
So,
can we just listen to some more Rodney instead?
No, okay. Now
she makes sense.
She's not done. Okay, so and by the way, the Sandra Bullock and the witches have been coming with her for a long time, and this whole thing with the bat, the blasphemous bat, is spectacular. But if you think it's only those people,
hey, it's me, Stacey Kennison. One of the latest plots against me. Somebody's told me that Nebraska, mainly Omaha, and Iowa, mainly Des Moines, was going to plot with Sandra Bullock and Jenny Mercer and my ex-boyfriend Chris Keith to take me to a quote-unquote group home which probably will be a place where they will torture and kill me. So I'm my own guardian. I don't have to get in the car with anybody. You don't have a right to force me. Unless you have a competency hearing and determine that I'm incompetent to be my own guardian, I can make my own choices and I don't have to do what other criminals say. I don't have to go with them, and they're not allowed to kidnap me and force me.
Sounds legit.
No, you're thinking. So I thought this can't be real, right? Because she came across my feed because the other night I sent you two guys wacky people that were dressed like you could not believe.
Oh, it was
definitely people that are like they're the kind of people that are waiting for the aliens to come take them home.
You know, I love people that are weird, but I can't stand weird simply for the sake of weird. And that's what these people look like.
Yeah.
Like they woke up and went, okay, I'm just going to be off the wall because that's going to make me famous.
Yeah. So this lady, she's, I don't even know how to describe it. First of all, again, sometimes you look at the internet and go, thank you. And other times you're like, we should never have invented this, ever.
Al Gore will be responsible for the downfall of the Western world.
Yeah, that's right. Between this and, first of all, Al, you invented the internet, which now has given us AI to the point where we have to build data centers, which is causing climate change. You, sir, are the Antichrist.
You failed at your one job. Stop climate change.
So, but this lady, I thought, she can't be real. So I went through a lot, and these are just a smidge of the insanity. Do you have any followers she has? Because she's dead serious about this. And you start going back and forth, looking at all the comments, and these people are all invested in her life. She has 40,000 TikTok followers and 100,000 or so Insta followers. But there's no monetizing that. You know what I mean? It's not like she could get halfway through crazy rant about how Des Moines, Iowa is going to kill her, along with Sandra Bullock and the witch crew. Sounds like somebody Scooby-Doo should be chasing. And then halfway through go, and by the way, my crazy day is brought to you by Bounty. If you thought your crazy gets out and spills everywhere, try Bounty. Oh, I don't think that's true. Well, I'm just saying. So you can't monetize that. You can't. Somebody gave her a cricket phone and told her the internet was fun, and she's been on ever since.
Have we tried to find out where Sandra Bullock actually is?
Well, currently she's in Nebraska or Des Moines.
Well, are we sure, though? Have we double-checked it?
Well, no, you know what? You're right, because she's also looking for the Blasphemous Bats, which is a great name for a band.
Actually, that's probably one of the better ones I've heard.
That's a good punk band. But it's got to be blasphemous, because I found a couple regular bats. They couldn't do any of the magic I wanted them to.
That would be a great Aussie cover band. Blasphemous Bats? Yeah.
Oh, I'd like that.
Yeah.
That would be a solid band right there. I'll tell you that right now. Coming up, a lot of good stuff still to get to on this most festive day. We'll talk a little bit about the WNBA. That's the WNBA. Missing opportunities, people. Missing opportunities. I'm going to take a different approach than everybody else takes on this, because it's just easy to go, they're horrible and men would dunk on them and stuff. Okay, yes, we understand. And by the way, we'll get a little bit more than this, but they always make it seem like that any dude like Belle and I could roll out there and beat these girls. I've got news for you. That would never happen. First of all, Belle doesn't leave the house. Secondly, he'd twist his ankle just trying to get to the court.
No, I would twist my ankle on purpose so I didn't have to get to the court.
Yeah. So we got some of your text messages as well. A bunch of other good stuff on the way, including some interesting things about old Jerry Green that we're trying to get on here. Old Jera.
We've got her scheduled.
What is it?
Remember, we're going to come in on that Sunday and record the interview with her later this month. Yeah. I think it's in a week and a half, 2 weeks.
There we go. So that's the first I've heard of it. I'd said I'd do a Sunday, but never knew what Belle said. Okay, and then that was the last I heard. Thank you. I love when we do show prep on. It's great.
Hey, apparently you weren't listening at one point, so there we go.
This is what I got to work with, kids. Amateurs. Coming up, though, we'll talk a little bit about the WNBA, a bunch of other good things. Chep and So Super Dope 99.7.
It is 1:30, and I'm Jay Harper. In for Ken Weaver. I've got your top stories. We'll get you a full forecast here in just a wee bit. Iran and the U.S., they're no closer to negotiating for the full reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's foreign minister says the U.S. just keeps miscalculating their strategy in the strait. ABC's Mick Mulroy, he says the U.S. is trying to pressure the Iranians economically.
The naval blockade, building a coalition to increase the sanctions, to increase the enforcement of secondary sanctions, and to find and seize more and more IRGC commercial assets that are around the world that are used to essentially sell oil and bypass the current sanctions. So that's going to take time, but that seems to be where we're headed. And while we're doing that, of course, we are going to restock our arsenal.
A federal judge asking attorneys with the DOJ why the department redacted or withheld some documents pertaining to the Epstein files. Back in June, Judge Emmett Sullivan ruled that the DOJ's omissions and redactions violated the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Today, he's apparently going through things document by document and asking the DOJ about specific instances. We hear now from ABC's Peter Haralambous.
The DOJ, in a way, is kind of using the victims of Epstein to justify withholding a lot of this information. The concern, though, mentioned in this lawsuit, mentioned by, for example, the New Mexico Attorney General, who's separately suing over these kind of documents, is that these are too many redactions, that some of these people aren't in fact victims, but actually associates of Epstein who are now being protected under the guise of the Epstein Files Transparency Act.
Back here in Tennessee, there's apparently a problem with some Tennessee driver's licenses when they present them at the airport. Travelers are saying the TSA is just not accepting them. Channel 4's Marius Payton reports.
Some Tennesseans say the issue has caused them to miss their flights. One woman says she always arrives early at B&A to give herself extra time to get through security.
And I get stopped every time. They end up having to scan the ID 2 or 3 times, calling over a supervisor.
She says this isn't just happening at B&A, it's happening at airports all across the country.
Many travelers are saying that the TSA's, the photo identification, the facial recognition feature is what seems to be snagging things, as these new licenses, your photo on those things, many are saying is very, very light, and therefore the software having a hard time matching your face with the photograph. So that could indeed be the issue. But in the meantime, the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security says they are aware of the problem, and they too trying to pinpoint what's going on. In the meantime, it's advisable if you're going to head out on a flight and you got a passport, you probably want to bring it with you. That's the latest news. Weather's on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Kids are back in school, right? Time to make sure your home's ready too. Right now, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, helping you save big with their biggest back-to-school offers of the season. So right now, when you schedule an HVAC maintenance or complete any HVAC repair, you're going to get a free dryer vent cleaning, minimum of $500 HVAC repairs to qualify. And if you're thinking about a new system, this is great. You purchase a high-efficiency HVAC unit, you're going to be entered in to win a Busy Bee Healthy Hive giveaway. Now, this is a $1,500 sponsorship for a local school of your choice. Plus, qualified teachers, faculty, and staff can receive a free Beehive membership when a customer, like one of you guys out there, maybe have a Beehive membership, as you should. You go and you renew or you get one. You can gift one to a teacher, faculty member, staff, coach, somebody like that. And if you need major plumbing work, $500 gift card with qualifying whole home repipes and mainline replacements. So what are you doing? Call Busy Bee today. They got great approval, and deals with credit. If you got good credit, 0% financing, 18 months. What? Yeah. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833 or online at busybehvac.com. Prices up. Morale down. Tell you what, good credit, Jason said. The only person who's got good credit's you, Bell. So.
That's not true. You got excellent credit.
Yeah, I know. My credit's okay. I don't have a lot of credit because I never have a credit card. We have one small credit card for emergencies, but only if we're going to rent a car, really. That's all it's for. Because, if you're going to rent a car, you have to be 25. And then you have
excellent credit.
Yeah, excellent credit. And you have to give them a credit card. And, and now show them a license, apparently, that may or may not work here. That whole thing so my wife, because, it's working out so well, by the way, for her to vote, for those, the names, for those who it's no big deal, the marriage license, it is a pain in the butt. I will tell you guys, it is a massive pain in the butt, some of this stuff. Getting anybody, if you live in the same neighborhood you've lived in your whole life, it's easy if you lose some documents. If you've moved anywhere, try that. It's been a nightmare, but she flew with just a regular old license, so it cost her $40 to fly because they're going to put you through something. She goes, everybody's waiting in line. I tell them, this is what I have, and they go, okay, go over there, and it took her 2 seconds, and this giant TSA line's out there, and she just kind of walked. It was like you were paying for Express. She goes, what? I'll do this every time, even if I got the new ID. I said, yeah. Why not?
How much was it?
I think she said it was 29 or 39. I think it's 39. I remember it was going to be 29, and then they raised the 39. $39.99 or whatever.
Yeah, if you're getting away from that mess for $40, I'm in.
Yeah. That is because do I still have Clear? I had Clear for a while. I had TSA pre-board.
No, that's the only thing that's going to get you is to the front of the line if you're a Space Mormon.
Oh, that's right. Don't watch out with the Space Mormons. They're coming for you. Everybody's worried about Sharia law. I'm worried about Space Mormon law.
Apparently, you've already gone clear.
I have gone clear. I don't think my and I have TSA pre-check, but that doesn't matter anymore because we have to have that license. That it only took us 25 years to get. Can you believe where
that law was passed, and then there were children that were a quarter of a century old before it went into effect?
Yeah.
That is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard come out of government.
Yeah, that was God, that was just and we're coming on. Can you believe it's a quarter of a century? 25 years since that happened. 25 years. I feel old because I got pictures and video of my kid getting his car yesterday, because he got a car. And
was he surprised?
So his mom took him. So you guys don't know, I have a 16-year-old. I have an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, soon to be 16-year-old. And then Charlie will be 8 this year. So Charlie, she doesn't want a car. She just wants stuffies. She loves her stuffies and her animals. She's going to be a vet. I'm going to be a vet. I'm also going to be a singer. She's at that age where she's like, I'm also going to be a horse wrangler.
She's going to be a stuffies vet.
Yeah, she's going to be a stuffies. She's kind of like Doc McStuffins. So my son's 16 and he got his car. Right. First of all, I told him, I said, that thing's better than my jalopy. He's like, what's a jalopy? I'm like,
You're so dating yourself.
I know. But so he got his car and his mom picked him up the other day and she's like, look, we were going to save the surprise. We got to go look. We got to go over here and look at this car. So he's like, why? He goes, because it's going to be your car. So he got pumped and he's got his Honda Civic. So, and they had to leave the car there, her car, drive his back to the house. But then there was the threat of her car being towed. And he's like, Dad, I'm going to call you tomorrow. I said, okay. So yesterday he sent me pictures late last night of him parking it in the garage. Because when you get that first car, man, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, you take care of it.
It is freedom. That's what it is, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
No matter how bad condition is, as long as that engine starts and those wheels move, it is freedom.
Yeah. So but it's also that first step to like when you get that first set of really cool shoes or whatever, you want to take care of them, you make them look good. But that car, he is, he's probably going to wash it because that's what you do, right? Like and it's funny. My mom always said, because like all my friends, they got their cars and they were shy. I got my cars, and even at that age, I didn't care. I'm like, does it run? We're good. Let's do it.
I didn't even get my driver's license till like the day after my 17th birthday because I cared so little about it.
Yeah. You cared little about driving?
Right.
Because you didn't have a car.
No, I didn't care. I didn't want a car.
Oh.
Like, there's no way I'm going to watch Star Trek reruns in the car, so why do I give a crap?
Wow, you've been this way your whole life, huh?
But on the day after my 17th birthday, my mother comes into the room, literally yanks me up, and goes, we're going to get your license now. And I'm like, I don't want it. I don't care about it.
Sick and tired of just...
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, 2 hours later, I came home with a driver's license.
Yeah. So, and like he's already talking about, it's like, oh, I'm going to do this and I want to do that. And I'm like, that's awesome. I said, it's like you said, though, it's the freedom. I remember when I got my license, first thing I did, I go and I get my license. And I hadn't had a car by then, though. I didn't have a car. My grandma had an Oldsmobile. And I said, Grandma, can I borrow your car? I'm going to go see Raymond. And I'm not going to tell him I'm coming over, my buddy Ray. And I remember I walk into his house and he goes, what are you doing here? I said, dude, I got my license. He goes, let's go. And we just took off. We just drove around for hours because you could. It's just
the party is on.
Yeah, it is on. It is on. Global Entry is the best. $150 I've ever spent for 5 years. I think that's like a clear thing, I guess. A pilot. Whole thing's a scam. I'm a pilot. It's a scam, I say. A scam.
Government would never do that.
Are you sure?
Government would never scam anybody.
Are you sure? Mm-hmm. Are you sure? I moved from Ohio 50 years ago, and I still have my documents. Congratulations. If you lose them, if something was to happen, because sometimes you move or whatever, sometimes things get lost. Stuff could get stolen. Things could burn down. That's when the nightmare comes. That is. That's when the nightmare comes. And by the way, my documents were so old that they refused to take them because they wanted the raised seal, and after 50 years, the seal's no longer raised, and you can barely read half the stuff on it. And they're like, you have to go get a new one of these things for your birth. Well, guess what? I'm at the point now where I'm just going to hire somebody do it in L.A. You have to go to specific thing to get this. And so I said, all right, well, I'll just hire somebody to do it. It's the only thing I can do.
What's that cost?
We're going to find out soon.
I mean, what are you expecting?
$350.
Wow, that's a lot more than I would have hoped for.
Because somebody's going to have to go there, stand in line. They're going to have to fill out whatever. I have to go because I have to get things notarized and this, that, and the other. It's a pain in the butt. It is. It's not simple.
So the $350 transfers that pain to somebody else?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Let me tell you how bad lines are in L.A. If you guys don't know, if you've ever seen, there are people that you pay to go stand in your lines at the DMV. You pay them like $20 an hour. They will go stand in line. They'll take the little thing and they'll wait and then call you and tell you, hey, you can come back. And they do it at all government buildings. You people that just go stand in line.
Does government give them any garbage for doing it?
No, they don't care. People making money, right? People making money. Jason says, fix the YouTube. You broke the YouTube. Sherry, I don't have a license because now I have a passport. Well, there you go. I don't know if I'm going to drive with you, though. Because you should have a license. All right? You should have a license.
Okay, Mom.
Just go out to Nolensville Pike. You get a new document fabricated. Yeah, there we go. I mean, what's your new name going to be? When you hand it to him and it does say something like Jimmy Taco. Are you Jimmy Taco? Yeah. Don't I look like Jimmy Taco to you? Don't I? So, Sherry, you have a license. I don't have real ID. There you go. Real ID. I don't have real ID either. That's why I have to go through all this crap. But I'll pay the extra money. Did you see there's an airline? I got to find it. I saw this the other day. They are thinking about charging for overhead bin space.
It's going to get to the point where they're like, well, we've decided to use all of the axles on the plane, so we're going to have to charge you a tire surcharge.
Sir, are you going to be breathing on the plane? That'll be extra. You get on the plane and the guy comes out. We're going to be passing the hat around. We're going to pull over here to fuel up, and everybody's going to have to kick in at least $25 for the fuel.
And if you'd like to get off the plane first when we land, that'll only be an extra $1,000. That's coming.
You're right. They're going to charge you an exit fee. An exit fee. Chad, says Larry, when my son was 6, he announced that the first car was going to be a Dodge Viper. I asked him if he planned on waiting another 50 years to buy his first car. Kids aren't getting licenses today. And that's like, I understand you're in New York, Chicago, like you're in places where you can zip around town. And there's a lot of people. One of my friends has lived in New York for the last 25 years. He has an ID. He doesn't have a license. He goes, I don't drive. I haven't driven in 20 years.
Well, there are people in places like you were talking about, like in Chicago and New York, et cetera, that don't need a license and don't need to own a car, especially if you're like in Manhattan with the options between the subway, cabs, ride share, Waymo. Why would you own a car and then have to pay, $150 a month to have a parking space?
A lot of times it's more than that. It's way more than that. There's a parking space in New York that sold for $1 million.
That's insane.
Can you believe that?
I would like to know what kind of car was being parked in that space.
None. He spent all of his money on the parking space. He sits there now, rents it out.
He rents it out. You can park in my space.
Yeah. So, Chad, remember 20 years ago, the Real ID passed and everybody rejected it because it was a national ID and they haven't been able to implement it until now. Yeah, they waited a long time. They got it done, though. Woo, they got. Oh, I like that too. Sally says it's an invention of emergency. An oxygen mask will fall from the overhead if you swipe your card and pay $50. You wouldn't take this.
That's something you'll have to do when you first sit down. If there ends up being an emergency, if you haven't swiped your card, then the oxygen mask won't fall.
Yeah, and we'll know who didn't pay their bill. Mm-hmm. We will know who didn't pay their bill. Oh, Lord. All right, coming up. God, we just got off on that tangent with the car thing. I love it, though. I love it. He's so excited, man. That first car, that first thing. What was your first car again? What did you take care of it, Belle? Did you, shine it? Was it important to you?
It was a 76 Firebird, and I didn't because having a useless father, I wasn't taught how to do it. And there's this stupid assumption that came from my parents that, well, we know how to do it. Obviously, you do too. No, I know how to do things I've been taught.
It's true. Very true. Very, very true. I know. My mom bought me a stick. She didn't know how to drive a stick. Nobody knew how to drive a stick.
You learned.
I did. I learned. I drove it around the block for about a half an hour, learned it, and moved on with my life. That was it. Coming up, more stuff. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk, 99.7. If you care about growing your financial world, if you care about your investments, your retirement, talk to my buddies at Bulwark Capital. They're up over 14%, I think, this year, as we were talking about yesterday, over what the market's over, and over 70-some% from January of last year. The way that they do things, just different. It is incredible. The world outlook, global, rather than just a singular, we can put all our money here. They're about making sure that first and foremost, though, risk management. That's what I love about Bulwark. Risk management. Lower risk, lower cost, lower volatility. I want you to get a free Know Your Risk portfolio review. They do it with everybody. They go through your portfolio. And if you're doing great, they'll tell you, don't change a thing, right? That's not who they are. But they'll show you what they can do for you and where you want to be in life. They'll build you something. Simple and easy. Sign up for today. I promise you will not be disappointed. Worst case scenario is you're going to learn a little something. Go to knowyourriskpodcast.com, KNOW, yourriskpodcast.com for Bulwark Capital Management.
Disturbing details coming from those aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln. We'll get into that. And also some somewhat surprising developments in the Luigi Mangione case. We'll have the latest. That's all coming up at 2 p.m. on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The beauty of our country is, it's the most awesomest place in the history of mankind. Got all these great things going on. And we also get to see, yes, there are crazy people on the internet. Then there's our buddy Rodney, who gives us each and every day a fill of motivation, because we need it.
At some point, you just stop being mad, you stop being upset, you stop being frustrated, and you just say, you know what, I'm just going to do what I want to do. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm having a good time, and if I fail, I'll fail miserably, but I'll have a great time failing at it. And my world will be better. So get out there and stop being frustrated and upset about the world and things you can't control. Focus on things that you can't control, and you're going to have a whole lot more exciting and adventurous time and stuff. Okay, go get him. You animal, you. You beast. Okay. Have a super freaking awesome beast mode day and stuff. Or you just chill. That's pretty good for you too. Okay, bye.
You think he's winging that?
Yeah. He has no idea what's going on.
But the thing is it's like he may not know what's going on, but he's still saying things that you want to hear.
Yeah.
He's still being so positive.
I'm super motivated right now. Let's have a super freaking or just chill. Those are the two. Bell would be like, I'm going with B. Hey, somebody said anybody who is young and doesn't want to get a license is a loser. You know, one of the other reasons kids don't want to get their license, or because they can't afford the insurance. Insurance nowadays for like 16 and 17-year-olds. I told Jack, you're getting the General.
Can you imagine what car insurance would be like if government was involved in it?
It'd be broken, and it wouldn't work.
It would be broken, and you wouldn't be able to afford it.
So, we always joke about a lot of what goes on in government is it works, but it's mismanaged. And then and the mismanagement usually comes, unfortunately, the part where it works is never with the money. But, they do. We're forced to get insurance, which is the right thing to do because,
it goes back to my entire libertarian philosophy is you don't get to hurt other people.
Yes.
So, and I think the fact that the minimum requirement is liability, and if you don't want to ensure your safety, that's one thing, but you don't get to put somebody else at risk by not carrying liability.
Yeah. Financial risk, physical risk, all that stuff. So, that's absolutely true. And again, personal responsibility. But just like homeowners insurance, a lot of places, insurance, his mom was looking at other cars. The insurance on some of these other cars were to the point where it was more than a decent-sized car payment.
Well, when I was getting my previous Escape, my previous Ford Escape, I remember looking at it and thinking, well, I'd rather have this car, I'd rather have this car. And then I looked at it, and because the Escape is a SUV, it has a lower rate. It has the percentage of insurance it costs you is lower.
Yeah.
So people aren't just looking at the car going, well, this is going to be $350 a month. Well, on top of that, what do you have? Another $160 because you have to insure it?
Yeah. And then and think about when you're 16, 17 with no license, you're a boy. Oh, my God. Crazy. Coming up, hour number 3 of the program. We do have some stuff going on when it comes to the USS Lincoln. We'll talk a little bit about that. I think it's WNBI. We'll do that as well. If you're missing the show, Sham, and you grab the podcast, Chad Ben Show, Super Talk 99.7.
One minute past 2 p.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. Stand by for a rather toasty weather forecast. There are reports surfacing that sailors on board the USS Abraham Lincoln are dealing with dwindling essentials and even thoughts of suicide as their time in the Middle East stretches way past a typical deployment. Family members have told the Military Times that some sailors have tried to jump overboard. The Navy, in a statement to ABC News, denied the reports of suicide attempts, but did admit supplies are running low, and they're working to address that issue.
We should point out again, this ship was diverted to the Middle East. It did not make a port of call in between for more than 210 days. That is a long length of time. And so, yes, there's going to be concerns when you're dealing day in and day out with the same kind of operations.
Sources are telling ABC News and other media that during a conference scheduled for federal court tomorrow, it's expected that a guilty plea will be announced in connection with the federal prosecution of Luigi Mangione in the death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Here's ABC's Brian Buckmeyer. He's got more.
The note that we're getting is that a guilty plea will be announced. That's not how anyone I know talks about guilty pleas in the criminal justice system. Either a guilty plea is taken or not. And I fall back on, I think this is a last-ditch effort by the defense to ask for an open plea from the judge based on the language that we see here. But if a guilty plea is taken, I think the overall hope is that if you can finalize the federal case, then you can revitalize the argument for double jeopardy with the state case. But even there, I think that's a losing argument.
The sources caution that plans for the guilty plea are not final at this point and will not be official until announced at the hearing. The situation is fluid, and Mangione could conceivably decide against pleading guilty between now and Friday. Well, today, candies like Skittles and my passion, M&M's, will be on the shelves and feature natural food dyes made out of grapes, turmeric, and other naturally occurring ingredients. Officials with Mars say that some of the colors were easier to come by than others, but some, like the blues and the purples, they proved to be a little trickier. Claire Hewitt is the Senior Director of Ingredient Transformation. Boy, there's a gig. Anyway, she's with Mars Candies. She tells ABC News that the work is the culmination, though, of years of research.
We've actually talked to over 13,000 consumers in the past year about this conversation exactly. And the good news is they're really open to the tone, hue changing slightly. What they're absolutely not open to is the taste changing.
Yeah, don't mess with my peanut M&Ms too much. That's the latest news. Weather is on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Oh, hot, gross. I think we're closing in on gross.
We passed gross a couple of days ago.
You would know, Bill. You don't go anywhere.
I have to walk to my car. The company won't let me use the safety underground bunker that takes you out to the parking lot.
You do want to do everything underground. That's
Underground,
It's
yeah,
kind of disturbing.
I don't feel that way.
I think it is a little disturbing. I'll be honest with you. I think, guys, can we all agree, a little disturbing? You know, you're getting out, seeing the sun, right? That because I am very much I'm a sun powered.
Yeah, you're a fan of skin cancer. I get it.
No, I'm not. I'm sun powered though. I need the energy. We killed a guy here today. Not us, not you or I, but put a guy to death. Would you want to go to one of those, Bill?
No, and here's my reason: is I can't wait to hear the wailing over this one. I'm not a fan of the death penalty.
No, I think the death penalty. I'm not a fan of death penalty.
And the reason for that is not because I don't think we should be killing people. It's that government makes so many mistakes and is so corrupt when it wants a win that you can't trust them to not execute somebody who doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And there has been evidence after evidence of people being on death row that later, after 30 years of their life has been just gone away, that, look, found some DNA, dude. Sorry, apparently you didn't do it. We're going to let you out.
Yeah, for me, it's not a deterrent. Right? You know, this isn't the old West where they sentence you on a Thursday and at noon on Friday they hang you, right? Like that. But still, that did stop people. And it's not a deterrent. It's just not. Nobody, and I get the whole punishment aspect of it. But that being said, I think you're absolutely right. On even with the DNA, how many of these people already, by the way, just because you have DNA, how many times have we heard that they're not even give somebody a second look, even though you get a confession from somebody else? It takes them years to get them out of jail.
Or they have compelling evidence that says, we got this one wrong. The judge is like, well, the jury spoke.
Yeah.
Well, the jury spoke incorrectly.
So I was in Phoenix when I was out there. They started doing them again. They stopped them for a while. And then they started doing them, and they've stopped them again because they've had several issues. First of all, the issues are ridiculous at time. And the reason they stopped them is because there was a bot. Well, it wasn't a bot. Let's say it's a botched execution. It wasn't a smooth one. How's that? It took them like 4 or 5 hours to, they're up there with a pillow at some point in time.
Start stabbing them with a little pocket knife, trying to find a vein.
So... And because, when I was out there, the station I'm still on for my other show, it's a massive station, and we have lots of reporters. And one of the things is they will call us and go, hey, there's an execution. Would you like to go to the execution? They need observers. They need media observers there. And we sent two people that were too, first of all, one of them was fine. The other one was too young. Taylor was way too young to go to this thing, and it did not go smooth, and they said it's just very surreal and sterile and just it's just an odd thing. And, I know everybody wants an eye for an eye kind of thing, but again, like you said, I don't think the government I don't think we should be involved in killing another human being.
I'm not anti-eye for an eye. I'm anti don't give the organization that makes so many mistakes that kind of power. The government should not have the ability to kill a member of society that empowers it to govern, because they've proven their ability to get it wrong under the best of circumstances.
Yes, exactly. Under the best of circumstances. I mean, think about that. They mess up way too much. And like you said, they go for a win. And it's because especially as a prosecutor, you can't move up unless you win. The reason government's so successful at prosecuting is because they only take cases they win or they know they can win. That's why the federal government is.
And why they can win doesn't matter to them.
It's how they win.
Yeah. It's just the fact that they can win. If you've got bad evidence, but bad evidence is going to help you get a win, yeah. Okay. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Here, you know what's interesting? Could you imagine if you go and you say, all right, here's the thing. New rule. If you as a prosecutor hide evidence, do any of those things, and somebody does 30 years and then they release them, you must then do the same amount of time they did. What do you bet things would change?
Oh, yeah, it would change in a heartbeat.
Because you'd be held accountable.
But government's not going to let itself be held accountable.
Bing, 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 bingo, bingo, bingo. Bingo, bango, bingo. Right there. Bingo, bango, bingo. So, and the other thing is, so I know tomorrow, what's his name? Mangione is supposed to go in and plead guilty. He's doing, so there's two cases. You have the local case or the state case and the federal. He's doing it with the feds. He's cutting a deal with the feds. And the reason? Because federal prison is way nicer than state prison. They know he's pretty much, if you will, dead to rights. They're not even, from what I understand, the negotiations have been to the point where, the state could probably do something, but that time it's like putting a hat on a hat. He's already guilty. And so the feds, their whole thing is they want to supersede it because he wants to go to federal prison. They haven't taken anything off the table that includes life in prison. They're not trying to get anything, like 25 with a chance of parole. They're leaving it open as far as the sentencing, but it's the federal prison that he wants because it's easier, I guess.
Well, I don't know if easier is the
but
right
it's easier
word.
than going to the.
It's probably safer.
Yeah, that's what it is. Well, it's just, because he's going to be he's probably going to have his own cell.
Yeah.
He's going to be in, so you did ask a really interesting question. I think a very prudent question about him. Why do girls like him with one eyebrow?
Yeah, it's just, if he fixed his eyebrows, I would say that, he's an attractive guy. I get why girls go after him, but he's unibrow. Why?
Well, you know what, dude? It's part of it is the anti-hero thing, right? That kind of thing. But that Chris Watts guy who killed his wife in Fresno up there? He just got married. Go look at the two brothers, the Menendez brothers. They got chicks all the time. The serial killer nut job, that died, the Night Stalker. He had so many women.
Manson.
Manson.
Had women that were writing him all the time and wanting to get married to him.
You know what the psychology of that is? Because you know where they are all the time.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about him cheating on you unless it's with somebody else in prison.
Yeah, that's fine. You always know where they're at. 24/7. 24/7. You know where they're at.
And if that's a concern you have as an individual, then you're probably not doing too well in the dating world outside of prison.
But go look at, what was it? The older Menendez, he had a wife, and then this English chick came in and was doing like a story on him, and then he left his wife for her. What's going on?
Which basically means that his wife lost visitation rights.
You're just like, what are we doing? What is wrong with you people? I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, but Daryl Hines today, pronounced dead, 10:43. 1985 murder of Catherine Jean Jenkins at the Saban Motel in Kingston Springs. She was 54. Apparently was quick and smooth and easy. Least the phenobarbital began. 10:34, flew right in. He grunted, then took 3 choking breaths that was followed by multiple quieter labored breaths before he was pronounced dead. At the time. And there was questions about not whether or not he did it. Did he understand it? Was he all there? Which is also something else. There's a lot of people, again, it's not whether or not they deserve punishment. I think we do. It's also whether or not, to me, partially because how many of these things take forever? That's the other thing. There are people that specifically are fine with the death penalty because they know fighting it, they are going to be in a position to have it drag on for decades and decades. But on top of that, in many cases, you're in your own cell. They don't put you with somebody else. You kind of get a situation where I don't say you have more privileges, but it's a little bit easier. And so I look at it, it's the expense of it all as well. But I'm with Bell on the amount of times we have made way too many mistakes. I mean, think about the rape kit thing we've talked about before. How many of those rape kits sit around for years and years and years and they don't get to them? It's again, we got to do better. We got to do better, no doubt. But, when it comes to being a prosecutor, yeah, there's a lot of disingenuousness in some of the stuff that they do. They go hard and are they trying to do, but they're trying to win because as a prosecutor, you can't advance unless you win. Right? If you're 6-4 as a prosecutor, you're going to be only handling parking tickets. And because you've got to win. You've got that is the number one thing. What was that movie, Law Abiding Citizen? Jamie Foxx. It was a great movie, by the way. It was a fun movie.
What is that, about 15 years old? Something like that? It's been a while.
16.
Okay.
And I know that because Jack was not born yet, but he was in his mom's tummy. And we went out to dinner and we went and saw Paranormal Activity, and it was creepy AF. So we said, we should take our mind off something, and then we snuck into that. And we went and saw that movie. But,
why does none of this surprise me?
Yeah, but you're the one who said you sneak into movies. You go see a sick movie.
Yeah, but I'm also the first person to say I'm less moral than you are.
Yeah, you are. But we saw that movie, and I remember Jamie Foxx is like, it's not what you know kind of thing. It's what you can prove. And they're willing to do trade-offs. And that's the the thing. So, yeah, I mean, look, they put this guy to death. There's no doubt he probably well, there's no doubt about his guilt. The thing is, also, it's like some of these people, their IQ is like 62. I'm like, But this guy, their thing was he had a bunch of strokes. I'm like, well, it feels like we're kind of doing him a solid at this point. But it shouldn't be cruel and unusual.
Well, and that's another thing that has always kind of made me waffle on it is if you went back to when they were writing the Bill of Rights, death by electric chair would have been very unusual.
Yes.
That would have been something that they were like, hey, you kill them how?
Gas chamber?
Yeah, gas chamber? Lethal injection? Yeah. What are you talking about? Now, to us, that's normal everyday stuff. But when the Constitution was written and revised with the first 10 amendments, people would have looked at that and went, are you out of your mind?
Yeah. They also
put a rope around their neck and hang them.
Yeah. Like civilized people. Bayonet them.
that would not have been weird to them, though. That would not have been unusual.
Yeah. No doubt about that. All right, coming up. We're going to do it. We're going to do this lady. And I thought it was rage bait. It is not. And you're going to have to follow along. I promise you, you will be flabbergasted. Maybe some of you won't, but some of you, and if you're not, then that's a problem. Chad Benster, Super Talk 997. Now, you'll probably still tell me I'm wrong, so that's okay, though. Whole show or not, but that's why you love me. Home title lock. Let me tell you something about home title lock. You need to protect yourself. We talk about data, we talk about all these things. All your information on your home, your title and everything, it's out there. Property, right? Public records right there. Name, address, property information, even the documents containing your signature. It's all there. Criminals go and grab it. And it's scary how easy it is, and especially now with AI, voice cloning, all of that stuff, to reproduce fake documents, put yourself on somebody else's title, and go from there. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you get these things in the mail, phone calls, and you're like, what's going on? You find out somebody's taking a second out, or they're trying to sell your house because they're on it. And then the fight begins. That's where Home Title Act comes in. 24/7, they're going to monitor everything that's going on. Anything that happens, they're going to alert you immediately. And should you become a victim and you're with Home Title Lock, they'll spend up to $1 million helping you restore your title. When's the last time you actually checked your title on any of the stuff? So do this. Don't assume because you've got homeowners insurance that you're protected right there. Check your title records. Find out what's actually on file. Go to HometitleLock.com/Benson. Use Benson to get free title history report plus free trial of $1 million triple lock protection. HometitleLock.com, promo code Benson.
Violence in the West Bank continues to intensify in the Middle East, and another emotional day in the trial of a Massachusetts mother accused of killing her own 3 children. We'll have those stories at the bottom of the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
God, she freaked out. They had to take her out yesterday. I was like, what the hell is going on here? All right, you guys are going to need a pen and a piece of paper for this, okay? You guys ready for this? You ready? Here we go.
So I just found out that my grocery store has been stealing money from me for the past year and a half. So I'm a very consistent grocery shopper. I go once a week, every Sunday afternoon, and it's like a part of my Sunday routine. And if you know anything about me, I am a creature of habit. Like, I go every single week with my grocery list. I check everything off, and then I usually go to aisle 4 because my favorite cashier lady, Kathy, is in that line, and she gives me coupons.
All right, so that's what she does. Now, tell us about the coupons and what you do with those things.
And a part of my Sunday routine is refreshing my wallet with fresh cash. My mom always told me growing up that cash is king, so I always like to carry like at least a $50 bill on me at all times. So every single week with my groceries, when it asks me if I want cash back, I always say yes, and I get my $50 back. So every week I look up on the little screen and see how much money I saved from all my coupons, and usually it's about like $50 to $60. So I always press $50 when it asks if I want the cash back.
Okay, so it seems okay. We all do that. So here's where it comes to a head with this young lady.
So PSA, if you did not know this, when you ask for cash back, it is not giving you the cash back of the money that you saved from your order, like from the store. It is taking it straight out of your checking account. So please beware, next time you guys are getting cash back, it is taking it out of your own money and stealing it from your bank account. It is not from the grocery store or wherever you're getting cash back from.
So I just want to go over this again. She goes to the store. She goes to her favorite lady. She gets coupons. She puts in her phone number. Blah, 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 gets all the deals like you do with your points and whatnot. The savings, it's $168. And it goes, because we all like to watch it go, oh, it's $118. $50. I'll take $50 back. She puts her ATM in there and like, okay, here, $50. She thinks she gets the $50 savings from the grocery store for the $50 in savings that she gets.
So how long of a video or whatever was this?
Minute 20.
Minute 20. Did they spend the last 15 seconds talking about what she competes in the Patriot games?
They did not.
Okay, I'm just curious.
They did not. They did none of those things. I was like, the first time I heard it, I was like, wait, what? Do you think that that's not the way that works? Because that would mean that you bought $100 and, if it's $50, and let's say it's $100. Right? Yeah. And then it drops down to 50 with your coupons and all your good savings and everything. And then you get the $50 back. That would mean your groceries were free.
It's money the grocery store is not charging you.
Wait till she finds out the ATM's not just handing her money, taking it right out of her account.
Wow.
Oh.
I thought the ATM was giving me free stuff.
My mother was scared of the ATM for years. She's like, I don't trust it. Back in the day.
I didn't trust it. I didn't trust it either. It was years before I would start using my debit card at a grocery store.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it just felt too vulnerable. Like there's too many ways for everybody from companies to people to snag my what's it called, FDI or IFD? Is it IFD? It's the signal that you use to scan.
Yeah.
I just felt there was too many ways for them to use that to steal my info.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
And certainly as time goes by, security gets better, more
But they
efficient.
get better, too, at stealing stuff.
Well, that's true. So it's a race.
It is a race.
Who's doing better?
But no, my mother for years. But I'm like, Mom, so you don't trust the ATM, but you will go to a facility and you'll stick your money and all the stuff that you have and into the little suction cup tube thing and have it shoot across the parking lot and then hope that somebody sends you back something.
Yeah, you don't know that Beetlejuice isn't down there opening that thing up.
That's just so funny. I can't believe, do you know they took that money right out of my account? Oh, Lord. What are we doing? Coming up, got some audio from Jerry Green, as well as WNBA, a bunch of other stuff. Got some of your text messages. I've been called effing retarded for 50 times because
I'm sorry.
Our take on the, and some of it's directed at you because our take on the,
I said I was waiting for the wailing and the gnashing of the teeth.
Yeah, there's plenty of that. If you don't agree with me 100%, we cannot be pals.
And if you don't think that government isn't perfect, I don't want to hear you anymore.
Yeah. Government's not perfect. As we know, government's not perfect. As we know. Chad Benson, Super Talk, 99.7.
It is 2:30, and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A full weather forecast coming up. Violence in the West Bank continues to intensify. For several nights, Israeli settlers have surrounded a few Palestinian homes, preventing the families from leaving as their food and water supplies run short. ABC's Britt Clinette has more.
Israeli forces say they're sending more troops into the occupied West Bank after two Palestinian families were trapped in their homes by settlers near Qusra, that's south of Nablus. One of the men inside, Qusay Abu Ridi, says the house was attacked again overnight and that some settlers were still nearby. And it really is another example, something we've seen for ourselves in Qusra as well, of the growing violence involving settlers across the West Bank and the difficulty Israeli forces seem to have in containing it.
Now back here in the U.S. in another emotional day in court in Massachusetts in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy. She's facing murder charges in the death of her 3 children, but her attorneys say she was suffering from postpartum psychosis and had a documented history of mental health challenges after the birth of her third child. We hear now from ABC's Peter Haralambous on messages Clancy had on her phone in the moments leading up to her children's deaths.
She mentioned concerns about being inundated about information about how to parent her children. She wrote in part, quote, "I'm terrified of something happening to my kids." She also raised concerns about the lack of sleep she was getting at the time and her fear about different medications, writing, quote, "I'm on the fence about starting a new medication. I just want to feel happy." And as it got closer to January 24th, 2023, when she killed her 3 kids, the message is getting more disheartening. Quote, "Can you treat a sociopath?"
Back here in Middle Tennessee, a Cheatham County Sheriff's deputy shot out the tire of a fleeing suspect's vehicle. This was yesterday afternoon outside a Davidson County hardware store after the man ignored commands to surrender on outstanding warrants. Nobody was hurt. The deputy, though, was looking for Mark Boone. He's 57 years of age. He's wanted on outstanding warrants. The deputy, he received info that Boone was at Eddie's Hardware Market and Deli and got there in a marked sheriff's car about 4 o'clock. The deputy pulled in behind Boone's Jeep and approached it on the passenger side. According to authorities, Boone ignored the deputy's commands to get out of the vehicle, then took off toward the deputy, who stepped back from the vehicle and fired, striking the rear tire of the Jeep. Boone, he just took off and was driving on Highway 70. He got in a short pursuit, but the tire finally made him stop, and he was arrested. Boone was taken to the Dixon County Jail on the outstanding warrants. That is the latest news. We've got a hot weather forecast on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Oh, USS. You're going to want them to come out there. Weather the way it is, start stops with the storms. We're getting ready potentially for a massive winter. Have USS come out, put a little peace of mind for you. You don't know what you can't see. And those cracks tell stories. Is your foundation good? Or could you be letting some things happen that's going to cause you to have to spend huge money? USS comes out. They give you a free inspection. They're not going to charge you anything. They can do everything from rerouting water away from basements, crawl spaces, to making sure that your interior drain system and sump pumps with battery backups are ready. Everything's ready to roll in the event that something could happen. Peace of mind, man. You can't put a price on that. Have them come out. Simple and easy. Call them, 615-488-7855. They've got great deals when it comes to 10% discount when you pay in full, fix it now, pay later, 18 months, no payment, no interest, 36 months, no interest, low payment options for qualified homeowners. Call USS, get that peace of mind, 615-488-7855 or online at ussTN.com. Relief Factor gives you the relief you need, right? Aches and pains, your joints, your muscles, you're out doing stuff. Maybe it's just from work. Maybe it's just from getting a little bit older and, our diets aren't great. Inflammation, because that's what it's really about, inflammation. Inflammation is the driving cause of everyday aches and pains in your body. And if you're thinking this is how you have to live your life and take some aspirin here and there, try Relief Factor. Naturally formulated, third-party tested. Million people use Relief Factor. And I love the fact that it's non-addictive. It's not big pharma. It works. It works from the inside out. It doesn't mask the pain. It actually deals with the inflammation. Right now, $17.76, 3-week quick start. Right? Simple and easy. Try it. They're putting their money where their mouth is. I think you'll be more than excited with what you get with this. Go to ReliefFactor.com to get yours today. ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. 800, the number 4RELIEF for Relief Factor. Hey, Belle, you care about criminals. You opened your mouth, huh?
You know what? If somebody has an issue with what I said, I don't care.
Yeah, sure. Sure, Bill, sure. Jerry Green's her name. She's running for governor. She came out and said this.
Hey everybody, it's Jerry Green.
She's running for governor.
And I just wanted to say, since the election, I've seen the messages. I've gotten a lot of messages, actually, from people who probably haven't ever voted, not just for me, but for any Democrat.
And by the way, she put a bunch of messages up. Some of them are... a lot of, I voted for Monty, but I won't vote for Marcia. A lot of that. There's Kent Williams, right? 8 terms in the state house. And says they proudly endorsed Jerry Green as governor a couple months ago because she's by far the most qualified candidate in either party. We haven't had a real governor for the last 16 years. Ooh.
In fact, there's been a lot of messages. I'm not ever going to change what I believe. And we're not agree on everything, but there's a lot we do agree on. You're concerned about flock cameras? I am too. I've been a public defender my whole career, fighting to save the 4th Amendment because I know you can be safe and keep your freedoms. You're concerned about data centers? I am too. I'm right here in Memphis, where we have had XAI pop up in our backyard without any regulations, having to put them in afterwards. We need to pause. We need to have a moratorium before this happens to more communities. And, whether it is taking money out of vouchers and putting it in our public schools where it belongs, or taking money out of politics, making sure that your politicians aren't bought and sold by corporations, billionaires, foreign PACs, I think we have a lot more in common than you would believe. So know this, that while we might not agree on everything, if I'm your governor, I promise to work for you too, for all of Tennessee. So join us. Go to greenforgovernor.com. Let's build a Tennessee that works for working families.
So not this Sunday, right, Belle? But the following Sunday, I think we're going to have her on.
Yeah.
So we're going to interview her.
Well, we're going to interview her, and then she'll be on like the next day, which is Monday.
Which is good. And I want to talk to everybody. I know there's a couple independent people we want to get on the show as well. Because we should have everybody's voice. I mean, and I listened yesterday to as much as I could, Matt, with Marcia. And, it's...
Did she answer any questions?
Nah. What's funny? I listened to it on YouTube because I had to run a couple errands and I got home and I went back to watch it. And, Matt's pressing her to do, but everybody in the chat said the same thing. She said a lot and yet said nothing. There was a lot of that. Wow, that was a lot of nothing. It's just very...
She's good at saying a lot and giving you no information whatsoever.
Yeah, it's almost like she gets paid by the word. So how can I string this out and at the same time you go, what?
Well, and plus that's why she's going out and talking to Tennesseans every day.
Well, she sounded like a robot because I sped it up a little bit because it was a little longer than. But I've listened to her. What she has, no, but you shouldn't agree with everything. It's the 80-20 rule, right? If you agree with somebody 80% of the time, 70% of the time, that's pretty good. We don't get, if you agree 100% of the time, you're in a cult.
Yeah.
That's not a relationship. That's a cult thing. That's a captivity is what that is. And
what people don't do is they sit down and instead of saying, does this person agree with me on the points that really matter to me? Are my priorities even remotely close to this other person's priorities. Instead, they go 100% or nothing.
Or they're a singular voter, right? Like, you may be pro-life or pro-choice. That's the only thing that matters. That person you vote for may be the thing you want, but they're going to run the economy into the ground, or they're going to hurt your business, or they're going to do something you're a singular voter. It's either all or nothing, because we've lost common sense. It just flittered away. Nuance. True. Nuance is, you know what? You want to teach something in school? Nuance, common sense conversations. How to have a conversation and not turn it into identity, no matter what it is. Doesn't matter what it is.
The reason Marsha gets so much crap is because she doesn't want you to know what she actually believes, so you're able to make a decision to go, hey, is this 80-20 or 70-30? No, you're just supposed to vote for her because of the letter by her name.
Yeah.
After she left Congress with a 25% approval rating.
Which to me is shocking, right? Isn't that shocking that you could be in a situation where you have 25% and you're like, well, that's the person I'm going with. That's the one.
I really don't like the job you're doing as a senator, but hey, but you'll be better governor. No, she's not going to be.
Debt's exploded on your watch. You have, like I said, Matt did all that you could tell too, Matt's trying to get stuff out of her that, she doesn't want to go and have that kind of interview.
Yeah, Matt can ask her anything he wants to, but if she won't answer, you can't put that on Matt.
So, it is Marsha's what we've got. She's definitely better than Green. How about do you even know what her platform is?
Well, she doesn't have a D by her name, so that's all that matters.
I've read through here's the thing. We all read through their stuff. They're all the same, for the most part.
And they're only going to put on their literature the things that they really want you to hear.
They're not going to put anything we don't want to hear on it?
Well, no, definitely not.
Man, that's weird. That's weird. We'll see. Everybody's like, you can ask her softball questions. No, I'm going to have a conversation with her. I'm not there to fight her, but have a conversation with her. That's it. Like I did with Monty, like I did with everybody. We have conversations. Like I did with Ditch. I did like the Ditch, right?
He was a nice guy.
You know what the thing is, if you guys remember, we brought Ditch Kurtz on. That guy was cool. And
didn't have a hope in hell, but a cool guy.
No, but the thing was, I think for him, it was showing everybody, you guys can do this. Anybody can do this.
This is supposed to be something normal people, that average worker, the average person can stand up and go, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is, I think we all need to be reminded, we're supposed to be represented by other citizens, not professionals who go to school specifically for this kind of stuff and turn politics into a career.
When somebody tells you, I've been in Congress for 40 years, you should look on that with disdain.
Yeah. Yeah. Is she for marijuana? Yes, she is for legal marijuana. She's for, let's do this. Let's do it.
Full on or just medical?
No, she's just like, what are we doing? We're adults. We're adults. Because that's what we have to do, right? We have to justify allowing the lady who's got multiple sclerosis we have to justify by going, well, maybe if we make it medical, it gives us a reason. If you don't see big pharma in that, if you don't see the alcohol lobby in that, buying against your freedoms, because that's what it is. You may not smoke it. And by the way, if most people, now they take gummies.
Well, and let's face it, the overwhelming majority of American citizens don't smoke pot.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you take the freedoms away from the ones that would and do it responsibly. And that's the key word, responsibly.
Like everything.
You don't get to hurt other people.
Jason, why haven't we seen Mitch in 61 days? I think he's talking about Mitch McConnell because he was abducted by aliens. You guys knew that.
Mitch is the alien.
He is the aliens. Every interview I've ever seen from Marsha is always the same. The interview asks some good questions. Marsha says a lot of words, and I cannot stand the way she puts an emphasis on ing.
I can't disagree with that in any way, shape, or form. She doesn't want to be honest. She wants to say as little as possible or as much word salad as possible so she can just get away from the question as quickly as possible.
So somebody said her explanation of why she didn't debate, yeah, that was kind of BS. The whole thing about, well, the reason I didn't debate is because I was so busy, getting out talking.
I was out talking to Tennesseans every day.
Every day, knocking on doors. Look at my hand. My knuckles are bloody because of all the door knocking I've done.
I got calluses now.
She's probably going to be bummed because she's going to have to move back to Tennessee full time. So I'm going to take the opposite approach. We didn't get to it about the WNBA because everybody's taking this up. By the way, they're going to have a task force now when it comes to the transgender thing. Task force. They're missing opportunities here to build up rivalries, especially with Caitlin Clark and, Sophie Cunningham. They're missing the opportunity here. They're like, we need to focus what's going on in the court. Yeah, you do. But people watch wrestling because of the drama that isn't the wrestling.
And people watch football because they want to see those two teams that have always, been
bitter rivals.
Bitter rivals. I want to see who wins.
And this whole thing with this past week where Sophie Cunningham got Dejanay, whatever, took her head off and all this stuff. And it's like, and then she went back and wore white privilege. You know what I would do if I was them? I would move their next game to prime time and make sure that ESPN puts it on. If you go back to 1996, two hockey teams. There was the Colorado Avalanche, and they had a guy on their team named Claude Lemieux, and the Detroit Red Wings. They were the biggest. They were rivals. Claude Lemieux put Chris Draper's face with a check from behind against the boards and destroyed his face. The next time they played, it was called Fight Night because they were coming for Claude, and they said so. ESPN said, put it on primetime, and they left hockey on primetime for years because of the rivalry. You're missing opportunities here. Who cares why people are watching you? If you think your product's good, then you know what? Now you got an opportunity to show it. And as far as the transgender thing, hey, here, if you want to do an experiment, behind closed doors, do an experiment and see how it works out. I bet you'll come back going, ha, no. And the biggest, I think it was GLAAD, which is big gay, lesbian, it's a huge organization. It's the organization for
gay and lesbian Association for Anti-Defamation or something.
Few years ago, they got leaked about their activists, how to take things on. But when it came to the transgender sports issue, it said in it, do not bring it up. Avoid at all costs. We have no leg to stand on. So there you go. All right. But take advantage of something right now. Take advantage of it. Who cares why? If they call you divas, this, that, and the other, if you think your product's that good, take advantage of it. Because this is your shot. All right, coming up, Matt. We're going to welcome Matt here because it's Friday Eve, right? Is that what it is?
Oh, that's right.
You're welcome. Chad Benson Show. Oh, man. By the way, Mr. Man, I liked your interview. You did as good of a job as you could yesterday it's like pulling teeth.
Here's the deal, is there's an update on that interview. And apparently there is some confusion within the nominee for governor, her ranks, regarding a question that I asked concerning pro forma Senate sessions. And so we have a follow-up on that because there's a point in the interview, and if you missed it, I will replay it today. We had a good conversation with Marsha Blackburn yesterday, and I asked her because I'm genuinely curious, and this is not a gotcha. I mean, we all have little gotchas that we do from time to time. This is not a gotcha. Right now, John Thune schedules senators to come in and gavel into session for 30 seconds at a time, so they're never officially on recess.
Yeah.
And they're doing that to prevent recess appointments by Trump. And I don't understand why. I'm just asking why they're doing it. Is there another reason that I don't get? I mean, there could be somebody could come to me, Chad, you could say to me right now, oh, Matt, they're doing this for this reason. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't think about it.
You know what? California, they got popped in California. They were doing the same thing on the weekends as well. And the reason was because they were keeping their per diem.
Well, I mean, it might be that, right? So I remembered that Senator Blackburn had participated in one of these at some point, or at least I thought I did. And so I asked her, I was like, you've participated in these. Can you help me understand why? And she pushed back and said, no, I have not. And I'm like, wait a minute, you've never done this? No, I have not. And we'll play the entire clip for you. Well, as one is likely to do, I go home and I'm like, okay, I didn't have my research or my receipts.
You went to the library to go through the film to
well,
find
yeah. I went to the microfiche. And she did in February. And so now and I'm like, can someone explain why she answered the question in the way that she did when she clearly was a part of this? And once again, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I just don't understand why they're doing it. And so now there's a question of whether she misunderstood what I was asking her or what. So
did you get a lot of people, when we were talking about this, weren't satisfied with her answer on the debate. And I was because I went home and I listened to your thing and I was reading all of the comments, and all the comments on the super chat were, a lot of it was she says a lot of words and says nothing, but nobody was happy about the
no. And you know what? She was obviously ready for the question. I mean, and she answered. I mean, so asked and answered. And what I've told several people who were like, you didn't press her on it. It's like, here's the deal. I don't tell her how to answer a question.
Yeah.
All I can do is ask the question. She answers, and it's up to you to decide whether or not the answer is acceptable or not acceptable. And I would expect that you will vote accordingly. And I asked the question, and she said, I mean, the answer that I heard, tell me if I'm wrong, is I had better things to do with my time.
Yeah, that's basically it.
There were better things to do with my time. So if you think that there are better things for a candidate to do with their time than to present themselves before the voters and before their opponent and speak directly to the voters, then maybe you agree with Marsha. If you think that maybe a debate's pretty important, maybe let her know that right now.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, if they don't think that it will hurt them not to debate, they're not going to debate in the general either.
Yeah, no. But why should she? At that point, if she thinks I can get away with anything and you guys aren't going to hold me accountable, then why would I do
Which
anything?
was kind of my point, and it wasn't a personal thing against Marsha or anyone. It was kind of my point that, at some point you just have to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. And that's where I'm at. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not going to continue to vote for people who don't do what I consider to be a basic job application requirement.
Absolutely.
So, but she answered the question.
So you got your Titan shirt on.
Hey, it's a meaningless game tonight. Let's go!
Do you know last week that meaningless game got 7 million viewers, which was more than most of the NBA basketball playoffs and game. It's crazy, baby.
We want it. We want it. We need it.
Football's back.
It's back.
What are you talking about today besides that?
We're doing that. We got a little Tim Burchett to talk about flock cameras. That's on the way, and what to expect out of the EFS next General Assembly. We're going to talk about that. I promise it won't be boring.
He's going to make everybody laugh because that's who he is.
That's what I
He's infotainment extraordinaire. You guys have a good one.